It was.
Another two black guys. Do you know what I mean? We didn't have another black combo for, because I think Michael Bay movies need um there's too many white people in them, and
Yeah.
that's why they look, whenever they do ridiculous things, people get upset. But in a lot of our movies, we love that shit.
No, you're right. I think you're right. You need a, and that's the thing that I never really understood about Bad Boys movies. Like
Mm.
the only time we really had black villains was in the second one. They were like
Mhm.
Jamaican or whatever.
Yeah, there was the Jamaican boys. Yeah,
But I feel like you really need like big black, like by big I mean like movie star,
yeah,
colossal
yeah.
actors in as villains.
Mm.
Like give us a Denzel Washington. Give us
Dog.
a
In a Michael Bay movie, that would be interesting, actually. Yeah,
give us a Giancarlo Esposito. I know it's mixed, but like give us
yeah.
those guys as villains and don't give us the whole 80s
Mm.
like villain, the hardy hard villain. No,
Mm.
like give us a really, really good, solid villain, like a very
Even
smart
take
guy.
Javier Bardem, dog. Javier Bardem makes a fantastic villain, and he's not
Yeah,
white.
yeah.
Um,
But Javier for me would basically give me the same vibes as the villain in one or two. Because,
yeah, and two maybe. Yeah,
yeah.
because two was Mexico, and then one was,
Was he Russian or what? What was he?
oh God, I forgot who the villain in one looked like. I
I
think
think
he was Russian.
like there was this whole thing about villains being. I'll give an example. When you think of Blue Streak,
Mm-hmm.
when you think of Bad Boys, when you think of Triple X, the first one,
Mm-hmm.
we just have these villains that are, I don't know, like Russian or
Jay, I think the problem is it's one thing to be
whatever.
Russian, but to be Russian in Jay just for no reason,
Yeah,
it's not nice. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like for the X one, there was nothing shocking or crazy about them. Do you know what I mean? Nothing like
Mm.
jaw dropping, but there are some cool bad guy Russians. Trying to
But I
think
don't
of some.
even think that guy was trying to be
Mm,
scary. I think he was just a Russian guy
yeah,
who wanted to bomb whatever.
yeah, exactly. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Meanwhile,
and
there's a,
we know he's not Russian. I think he's British.
yeah, of course, they never hire real Russians, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, but look at Die Hard. Die Hard has some good Germans. I mean, Hans Gruber number one, and then Hans Gruber's brother number three.
Yeah,
Those were
Simon.
iconic villains. Yes, yes.
Simon
Simon
Gruber.
Says. Yep.
Both played by British guys.
Yeah. And then,
Anyway,
ironically, we actually did get a good German eventually with Christoph Waltz, even though I think he played a German like only once, I think.
wait. He played a German. He played a German in
Inglorious
Inglorious
Bastards.
and Django. Because in Django
Is
he
he
was like a.
German? Okay.
Was he not a
He,
German
he
dentist
might have been.
pretending?
Or
Well,
Austrian, because I think you might remember there is a difference.
oh, was he Austrian?
I'm not sure actually. I'm
Didn't he
dizzy.
specify that he's a German? What?
You could be right. You could be right. I have to rewatch those movies.
I stand
Clearly,
to be corrected.
no, it's same. I know he doesn't do a great. Remember the Green
The Green
Hornet?
Hornet. No, but he
Yeah,
was not. Was
he
he bad
wasn't
at it?
German. There, he was playing. He was not no memorable. Do you like? I have to think to remember him.
Chednovsky.
Chetnovsky, yeah,
No,
that corny
Chednovsky.
thing with the weird double gun. With that's way too big for his hands. It
But
looks big.
what does Chednovsky sound like though? Does it sound as
Probably
much?
Russian, probably. You know,
No,
the
it sounds
Eastern Bloc.
Russian.
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
East. Yeah,
No, but I don't think he was horrible. Look, there's
he
something
wasn't memorable.
I think I mentioned this before, no? That there was an
Hmm.
interview with Michael Rappaport, and Michael Rappaport, they were like, "Yeah, dude, hey, some movies we've made were whack." Look, I have made whack movies, but I was not whack in them. Personally, I
Yeah,
don't feel like Christopher. Look, yes, it is not an Oscar-winning performance, but I don't think
yeah.
it's as bad as the. I feel like the movie has been. I think people really exaggerate how terrible that movie was. For me, that movie was not bad, bro. Like the actor who plays Kato, that
Yeah.
guy was brilliant for me, bro.
Okay, yeah, he did a good job. I won't fight that. But the movie itself was not. Think about it. When it comes to your list of superhero movies, where is it? Is it even in your top 10?
No, it's not.
Exactly. And there's the
It's
problem.
not. But I don't really consider. For me, it's kind of like it's kind of like similar to Kick Ass. I don't consider
Mm.
those like movies that I take seriously.
Yeah, but
I don't.
Kick-Ass is fantastic though. Like I could imagine, like if I were to stop and really think about my top 20, I could see Kick-Ass in there somewhere, maybe even higher.
Really?
You didn't like
Really?
Kick-Ass? Like you not
No, I
Kick-Ass
don't
2.
hate it. I don't hate it.
You
But
only
what I'm
thought about
saying
it
is,
okay.
I wouldn't consider it. It wouldn't be on my top 20, bro.
I think it would be, dog. I think
On
if you
mine?
stopped,
No ways. No,
I-
it wouldn't.
I think you need to rewatch it. You probably haven't seen it in a long time, dog. That's the problem.
Trust me, I have. It's definitely not.
I would say it's definitely better than Captain America 1. Maybe not 2 and 3, sure. But Captain America 1, definitely.
Yeah, but Captain America 1 is not the best movie ever.
Exactly.
Look, for me,
it beats the bad movies.
It has Hayley Atwell, who's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. And it does show you the character of Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
For me, it's Hayley Atwell because she's eye candy. Then you have Stanley Tucci. Then you have Sebastian. I feel like Sebastian Stan for me was brilliant in there.
Yeah.
As Bucky, even though
all 3 minutes of his performance, yeah, was fantastic.
Even though they sort of changed his role, because if you remember, Bucky is basically like Marvel's version of Robin. Like he's quite young. Even
they aged him. They aged him up, and they made him
aged him up from the beginning to make it seem like he was always like.
And then they basically made Captain America his
best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
If Captain America had stayed the same size, he'd have been the sidekick.
Exactly. And that's why I don't get, like, why wasn't Bucky? Because if we're using that logic from what we saw in the movie, why wasn't Bucky the tested for the super soldier serum?
Yeah, because he wasn't a bad guy.
He was as noble as Steve Rogers. 100%. If not even more, probably, because he's the one that would save Steve Rogers when he was down and out and when he was weak.
Exactly.
Why don't you just use him?
Yeah, see that? Do you know what that is? That's flawed storytelling.
Yes.
I wouldn't call it bad writing, but it's a mistake in storytelling where it's like you've made a second character. It's like Hermione in the Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
No, sorry, in the books she's great. It makes sense. But in the movies, she's so powerful. It's like, why are we not making her do the Horcruxes? Why is Harry doing this?
Right.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Sure.
They've created an imbalance within their own storytelling. That's made the main characters. Make sense. Yes. Yeah. It makes Ron more useless. You don't know why he's there. It makes Hermione more powerful than Harry. So you don't know why Harry's there. And that's the thing with Sebastian Stan's character. Like maybe if he was a drinker, an alcoholic, and then when he's not drinking, he's a nice guy.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that kind of explains why it has to be Captain America.
Yeah, but still, no, I get that. You're right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But anyway, guys, hi. Sorry. Welcome back to African Frame Podcast. It's myself and Rob. As you can see, we talk about movies all the time. I recorded this before we even prepared ourselves. So, you're just gonna get the bits and pieces of what we were talking about before we started recording. Thank you for everybody who's been checking out our videos. We do see that the numbers are actually increasing, which is great. Thank you so much for that. Today we're just going to be continuing our Karate Kid part 2. Part 1, but the second half of part 1, if that makes sense. The one that came out in 1984. We've mentioned in the previous video that it starred Pat Morita, Ralph Macchio, William Zabka, Martin Kove, Elizabeth Shue, to name a few. So yeah, we're just gonna be continuing from where we left off. Last time we left off when Daniel was being chased by the boys at night, and Mr. Miyagi's first, I guess you could say, major role in the movie where he starts kicking those guys' asses.
He gives him the Beats by Dre, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you still have that video because last time you wanted to share. But remember last time when we spoke, you wanted to share the video to show us the scene of him coming, because you were saying that the gate was unlocked, so Daniel could have easily opened the gate.
Oh yeah, because he didn't have to do anything. He just had to open the gate and he'd be fine. Let me see if I can find that for you. But it was like,
maybe it was a movie mistake. You know, these small things that happen all the time in movies and big budget movies. So like, how was this missed?
Oh no!
But obviously, if you were David Fincher's editor, you would be screwed.
Yeah.
But if you're not David Fincher's, then you can get away with it.
Yeah. Okay. Look. But no, you're absolutely right, because I'm sure, like, it was like, have you seen the skit I made? Did you see
about
the video?
Bus?
Yes. The weirdly empty bus.
Yes.
Why is the bus empty? Yeah. Exactly. It's the same thing. I get it. The gate needs to be locked because he needs to be stuck, number one. Yeah, exactly. But the gate can't still be locked when Mr. Miyagi's holding him up to get him through the gate, because then that's gonna take too long. So I get also, why they do.
The other thing is, fine, even if that happened, then make him run slower, make him trip and fall or something. Make it make sense.
Dog. Filmmaking, you know what I mean? That's filmmaking for you, buddy. Let's see here. Okay. See, like, here. Okay.
I'm still trying to see how Johnny is a good guy in all of this. Still haven't seen how he's a good guy.
I've been mulling this over as well, actually. This is everything I've been thinking about. Maybe you can argue this man didn't even try, but look at this. There's a thing there. Are you seeing my mouse?
What is that? Is that the
that's the chain
those gates, those old school gates where you have to pull it up?
Nah, it could be. I don't think so. I think it's just a lock.
Oh, it's a lock. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's a lock.
Oh, because I see the chain there. Yeah. Yeah, but Ralph Macchio was thin, yeah. Hey?
Dog, they were all so thin.
And no, but I feel like Ralph is worse though. Ralph is worse than all of them, bro. He's scrawny, bro.
Dog. And then let's have a look here. Because remember, even Mr. Miyagi didn't use the gate. He had to climb on that bin behind you. If you see the bin over there,
he
climbed in over there, jumped in, right? And then.
So I take it that's a stunt from Pat Morita, right? Because he's short.
I doubt it. I think they just found themselves a short person. 1, 2, ding! All right then.
Wow.
Dear Pat, why did you jump there?
Or are they trying to say that Mr. Miyagi is strong?
That man did not muscle that. He did not rip a chain open. No ways. But it's just a fun thing to think about. Like, just why?
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one. Those are cool masks, though. I mean, the costumes that the boys are wearing are pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but then they're rich, so they can afford that stuff.
Yeah.
They can afford a full outfit.
The
rest of us have to get paint. Real paint.
Not just paint. Did we have to go out dressed as showers? So I'm wondering what happened to the shower? Because
he dropped it while he was running, I believe.
So what happened to it still? Like, did he take it back the next day or?
Oh no, Mr. Miyagi must just accept that that's gone. He must just accept that that's gone. That's done.
Yeah. That's what happens when you borrow these kids your stuff.
Yep. But yeah, Daniel's beats by Dre was so intense that he passes out and is carried home, and that is the finish to the whole set piece. I think we discussed that where it goes from, we get the build up. This leads to this, leads to this, leads to this. This story is a story of big chunks fit together, brick after brick, to make a full storyline. Yeah. I really like that. I really like what happens with the story.
Definitely. I mean, look, this worked so much that they even used it like 3 times in Cobra Kai. They used it the first time with Miguel. Because remember, Miguel was basically Daniel, but being trained by Johnny instead of Daniel. Then you have something similar with Robbie, right? Where in a way, I guess you could say that Robbie was bullying himself, though. That's the difference. Was being bad to himself. And then you have Kenny, who was being bullied by Daniel's kid. So like you still see this happening the whole time with different characters.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it was that impactful that they had to repeat it so many times. And even in Jaden Smith's movie, The Karate Kid, it's similar. The only difference is you could say they mixed part 1 and part 2 together and made it one movie, because he goes to Asia, kind of like in the second one, and he gets bullied by the people in Asia. So,
he's still an outcast. In this one, he's technically an outcast as well. They kind of push it a lot more with this one, definitely.
Yeah.
Daniel wakes up. Anyway, we're in 42 minutes now, 42-minute mark. Daniel wakes up and has Mr. Miyagi put herbs on him. Daniel gets up and is given herbal tea. They talk about Mr. Miyagi himself, the history of karate, and the Miyagi family line, and the empty hand. Daniel wants to learn karate and tries to broach the subject, but Mr. Miyagi rejects his reason to learn karate. Daniel tries to shrug him off like his mother, but Miyagi gets to the heart of the issue, even understanding that the kids understand karate too. So he knows that these kids have got some skills themselves.
Right.
But he points out the issue with the boys' karate, and with Miyagi's understanding karate, he suggests that they approach the dojo itself. This is, of course, an alternative to physical violence. Mr. Miyagi, I think one of the key themes is, is you learn to fight to not fight. So Mr. Miyagi is doing everything he can to not fight. I think that's a great lesson. That's consistent. A lot of movies don't want to do that. They don't want to keep the consistency. But anyway, Mr. Miyagi says no to help him even when talking to the karate master, and Daniel guilts him into doing it. The scene ends with Mr. Miyagi pointing out the meaning of karate and its true value. This sets up where we're going next. It also is a cool system where it shows first of all, that Daniel's a talker, number one, right? Like, he's always been a talker. And there's this cool back and forth between the two of them that still kind of feels real.
But also, what you're saying is very important. Daniel mostly becomes a talker when he's with Mr. Miyagi. Before this, unless with his mom or with Ali, but the thing is, those scenes are usually short. Yeah, he talks a lot here. I guess you could say that he is most comfortable when he's speaking to Mr. Miyagi than anybody else.
Yes, he becomes the best friend. It's a deliberate thing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, you never see Freddy and those guys again. Eh? It's done.
What do you mean?
The friend that he met at the place.
Oh yeah, that's it.
It was done.
But did he show up in the third one? Who was that guy in the third one?
Maybe.
Because remember when who's this guy? Mike Barnes, who's arguably the best fighter in this entire franchise. When he says your karate is a joke, he went to the shop because someone led him there, and I think it was that guy. I could be wrong.
Freddy, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but anyway, we get a cut from night to day, which is something that we have to keep a track of. The scene opens on a new day and them going to the dojo with Daniel being given Mr. Miyagi's car to drive. We jump directly to the dojo and we get a camera lift as Miyagi comes and sees the tournament poster. We see Kreese drop a kid for not concentrating hard enough. He makes that kid do knuckle push-ups, a lot of them.
But also, we hardly speak about how iconic that car is, though. You know what? That car is iconic, bro. So much so that it's still in Cobra Kai.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That, like, what do they even call those things? What do they call that? It's kind of weird, like Rolls Royce pickup truck, something like that. I don't even know.
I have no idea. But I guess it sort of makes sense why Daniel eventually has an automobile shop at the end of the day. Like,
yeah, it's a nice homage to the old man. Yes.
Anyway.
And he has so many of them. Yeah, I just think that's interesting. It's kind of like, how those Jackie Chan, how they always have a Ford. What do they even call those things? Like those old school Ford, like Ford. You know what I mean? They crush those like 50. It's always like the same Ford, like car. I need to look it up what car that is. There's always like 50 of those cars and they break them to pieces every Jackie Chan movie.
Talk about free advertising, but
dog,
I guess it's a bit bad because if you're always crushing those cars, what are you saying about the car?
Hey dog, the fact that there's always another one is good advertising. There's no such thing as bad advertising. But anyway, then we keep watching the dojo without Daniel and Miyagi being included as they set up a one-on-one fight against two kids from the dojo. We get all the setup and character work to show the no mercy mentality. And then things kick off when Johnny points out that Daniel and Miyagi are there. Johnny has deep bruising.
Before you go there, there's something that we need to say, man. Martin Cole's performance is so great because he's speaking, then it's like you didn't even realize that he was paying attention to Johnny all along without even us realizing it, because we could see what Johnny was doing, like he's distracted, but we didn't see that Chris saw Johnny.
Yep.
It's like, is there something you want to say, Mr. Lawrence? Just whispers to him. And I think before the whisper, Chris could have been a bit more welcoming. And I think this is a talking point for a lot of people. Even Martin Kove, I think, mentions it before that. I mean, it could have turned out differently had Johnny not told Chris what happened the night before. Because Chris would have said, oh, you guys are disturbing this kid. What did he do to you? Whatever. Maybe they could have ironed it out or whatever. Then that could have been it.
You never know, yeah.
Because Chris sees Johnny as his son, that was well.
Just so funny because, like, did you pick that up though? I mean, definitely the third one. I mean, in Karate Kid 2, there's a big shift, but we'll get there definitely. But I agree with your work. That is a fantastic point.
Yeah, look, Chris in the first one. If you don't know Cobra Kai, if you don't know the second one or the third one or any of that stuff, Chris for me is similar to J.K. Simmons' character in Whiplash.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Oh, definitely.
He wants the best results out of everybody. He doesn't necessarily care about the person, but he wants the person to do their best and be the best they can be.
But true, but he also, don't forget, I think the one of the things about Whiplash is that it's not that he just wants the best for the person, or rather that it's that he believes that a brutal training regime is what makes you the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Chris does as well. Like I think he believes that for you to be the best, you just have to be a menace. Like you have to be like Mike Tyson, basically. You have to be Mike Tyson, basically.
I have to push you forwards, even if it's down a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you have to be strong here. We don't play around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris confronts Mr. Miyagi, and in the conversation, they set up the tournament. It's such a cool back and forth because it plays on his ego very well and doesn't make anyone look pathetic. It keeps both characters smooth, which is such a great moment. I really enjoy the dialogue of this whole movie.
Also, I feel like this was like you're saying, it's like ego between two old guys.
But because at no point,
yeah, that was it became about them than the kids.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But also Mr. Miyagi played Chris's ego. He never like full on challenged him directly. He was like, all right, then let's do this then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like he'd be like, oh no, then we'll do this. And like, yeah, that's fine. That make that work for me. Let's do this then. And you know what I mean?
Look, Mr. Miyagi is usually the smartest man in the room at any given point.
True. And he steered this man like a boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the scene moves into a little house in the middle of an oil rig. Like I even forgot about that, like all the messed up thing around the house itself. Like, is this an oil? Is this There Will Be Blood? I was like, this is crazy.
Bro, I think that house itself, I mean, now, sure, we get used to it in Cobra Kai and whatever, but...
Yeah. And that oil thing isn't there anymore.
First of all, where is that place? Because that's not where Daniel stays.
Yeah, it's not. It's just somewhere else in California, where they're apparently still drilling oil.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Just an oil refinery out of nowhere. And my house is inside of it somehow. It is the weirdest location.
Like, if he's the caretaker, does he travel from there to Daniel's place?
Just wait. Just wait 1 second. Pause. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, there you go.
You don't have to switch off, man.
Sorry about that.
It's all good, man.
Okay.
So yeah, I was just asking, like, if he's the caretaker, does he sleep at that place? Then he travels to Daniel's place?
Nah. What I think he's got a bed in both sides. Like that is his home. That, don't get me wrong, that's his home.
Yeah.
But I do think he's got a bed and everything there. I don't think
So are you telling me that Daniel inherited everything from Mr. Miyagi?
I would believe so, yes.
Wow. That's interesting, man. So Daniel was definitely a son to this guy.
Yes, literally. But we'll get into that because yes, that's absolutely right. But that is more of an act 3 moment. But we're gonna get there definitely. So yeah, Mr. Miyagi is still dropping lessons. Like the restaurant scene, things are doing multiple things at the same time. You even get a Yoda-like scene with no half measure, where he talks about no half measures. Then it ends with the iconic wax on and wax off line. And this is where we hit the hour mark.
Right.
Oh no, sorry. This is as the hours pass, we see him reaffirming it. Eventually, we see the cars are shining. He walks into the house after leaving things sparkling. And then he comes inside and to see Mr. Miyagi praying, meditating, or sleeping. It's hard to tell. Then cuts from darkness to light. 58 minutes in, we're back at school and we see Ali approaching. And upon seeing Daniel, she becomes furious and she takes off. But he calms things down and proves it by approaching a still beaten down Johnny and the squad. And even makes jokes. But Johnny doesn't make a move, even though Johnny is pissed. His sarcasm and their back and forth is still working together. And he even gets Ali's address. And things end on...
If you remember correctly, the reason he's doing all of this is because the two masters or the two senseis had agreed that the kids will not beat each other up until the tournament.
Yes, until the tournament, yes.
So he's getting away with it now.
Exactly. And to make things even better, like when he sees Johnny getting pissed, he's like, he trolls them by because when they're rolling up on him, he trolls them and pretends to talk to the principal. And then the whole thing is crazy. That was great. And they're like, would you like to join in this conversation? And then Johnny's like, no. But then it backfires because now he still has to talk to the principal, and it's this whole fucking skit. It's fantastic.
Yeah, because the principal is like, what? What do you want to talk about? What's going on?
Yeah. No, he was like, no, I loved your lesson about the soul. So I was like, oh, thank God. That's my favorite topic. Come, we'll all talk about it. And Johnny's like, yo, I gotta go. It's like, okay, fine, I'll talk to you, Mr. Lawrence. And he's like,
So but it didn't work out exactly as he thought.
Exactly. But in a 2-hour movie, the 1 hour mark hits and we're officially halfway and we're at the midpoint, which hits at an absolute high. So now we know what kind of midpoint this one is, because then we've talked about it before with midpoint lows and midpoint highs. Just a reminder, the midpoint lows were like Lion King, Bridget Jones, Basic, and Avengers. And the midpoint highs were, well, now Karate Kid, City of God, The Mummy, The Holiday, and Die Hard. Those were midpoint highs.
What's the midpoint high in The Holiday?
The midpoint high in The Holiday was, if I remember correctly, I believe, the Cameron Diaz's character has it basically, sleeps with the other chick, with the other guy, and then they kind of have a bond, yes. And then they start dating afterwards, basically.
Oh, okay.
The rest of the time is them dating, and then I believe with Jack Black, it's when they're dating, and the old man, it's the party with the old man.
Oh, yes.
Correctly. I think that should be about the midpoint high, and that's where things go. And then the midpoint, then the dark heart of the soul was when when Jude Law turns out to have kids, and she doesn't understand what's going on. Yeah. Or she thinks that he's a playboy or whatever.
He's like a side chick or something. Yeah.
Yes. And then with Thingamajiggy, it's when the other girl shows up. When Jack Black's old girlfriend shows up.
Oh, right. Right.
Yeah. Right. And it puts him in a downward spiral. So yeah. So remember that
who's this guy? I forgot his name, but I still think that he looks like Jude Law. You think he looks like one of the Michelson brothers. When he comes, knocks on the door, and he's there, and
yes,
he's just like, yo, what's happening?
That's when, yes, at that exact same time as the old girlfriend shows up, that guy shows up, and that's at like that's at low point. In The Mummy, it was when Imhotep gets. Actually, I'm about to talk about this later on. Actually, we're going to discuss this later, but we'll get into it. But basically, it's when Imhotep gets his full power. But we'll get there. I'm jumping ahead of the script right now. But yeah, point is, this is still one of the reasons that one of these things, these movies, is a masterpiece, is that it's actually still following classical film structure.
Right.
And that's fantastic. So that goes to show for all the writers out there, the skeleton is still effective. You can think of yourself as a fantastic writer. Sometimes you have to follow the skeletons, man.
Right.
But yeah.
You have to. I mean, they work for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think that's why, even though it's been done to death, the hero's journey is still great.
Yeah. And also,
whether you like it or not, it still works.
And also, we just mentioned, 6 very different movies.
Yeah.
Completely different genres, different designs.
Yeah.
Going back in time, going forwards in time, all these things happening in these movies. So, just goes to show. I mean, City of God follows it, and it still goes back in time like 3 different times and tells 4 different stories inside of one story.
4 different heroes or something.
Yeah, exactly. And it still follows the same format.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show.
Yeah.
You're not being slick by trying to break the wheels of your car. You know what I mean? You can still 100%. Go to great places. You don't have to break your car down and call yourself unique. But anyway, so now we're in the second half, and we're in the house. The second quarter, as Daniel is at an absolute high, he's gotten 2 scenes where he digs into Mr. Miyagi. It's one-sided, as we learn only about Mr. Miyagi, but that's fine because he's a kid, and you've already gotten the first quarter with Daniel. You've already gotten that first section of just pure Daniel.
Right.
The second quarter becomes about Mr. Miyagi. The whole time, the relationship with Ali has been growing. The director has put an effort to make sure that that keeps happening no matter what. So the line ends with a peak as he finally gets her number, or rather her address. This is the 80s after all. What cell phone?
But remember, there were sort of like mobile phones at that time, remember?
If you mean those bricks, the ones that are like this.
Yeah. I think like in the late 80s. If
those were like radios.
Yep.
But there's no way Daniel would have one.
The antenna. Yeah.
Yep. But anyway, he's won her over completely, and the big problem he's been having with Johnny has been put on hold. There is no better high than this right now.
Yep.
This story is
also, I think for me, it's like these are moments where now what? You know what I mean? Like now the writer has to make sure that the storyline is still interesting because there's no conflict anymore. So what are you gonna do to keep the audience
the fight is still coming, but yes, I agree with you.
Intrigued until the climax. What are you gonna do? Until then.
Absolutely.
Sorry, what did you say?
No, I'm saying no. You're right. I agree with you. I mean, there's still the main fight, but I agree with you. You got to keep the next step going. I am 100%. It's kind of like a climax into a climax into a climax. I 100%.
Right.
The story has been a fantastic piece of writing with just smooth and clear dialogue, and I feel that like what's neglected about the Karate Kid is how good the dialogue is. Like I'm brought back to the 2000 Karate Kid where the dialogue was just not as good. More is said in the 2001, but less is like really said.
But also, man, like I think we've mentioned this before, or rather I mentioned this before in the previous one. Ralph Macchio just has this charisma, bro, this charm about him.
Oh yeah.
That not a lot of actors do nowadays.
True enough.
I think you even mentioned that actors nowadays suck or something, but there was
young actors, yeah.
There was a charm, yes. There was a charm that main characters had in almost every film that you can think of. It doesn't matter if they're scrawny or they look weird or whatever.
Yeah.
Put Joe Pesci in a movie and he knocks it out of the park. Mel Gibson, Danny Glover.
I was thinking whoever. Joe Pesci. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And ironically, Joe Pesci and Ralph Macchio were in My Cousin Vinny, if I remember correctly.
Vinny.
Yeah. Yes. So just that they went off worked with each other.
Ralph Macchio just has that thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So he just has stuff. Hey, Mr. Miyagi, yesterday I was thinking that he's like, you just want to see this guy speak, man. He's so cool. Like,
And remember, Jaden Smith tried to do the same thing because remember his character is also a bit of a talker as well.
It's like funny and a dancer and goofy.
And it doesn't hit the same because it doesn't feel as real. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's look, maybe it worked for kids because I know I'm sure there's some kids who watched that. That was their Karate Kid, and they loved it.
Definitely. There are people that that'll fight for this Karate Kid.
Exactly. I don't know if you remember Keanu. Remember Keanu? Was it Keanu or was it no? It was Harold and Kumar, the third one, where they were talking to Kal Penn and Don Cho, aka Harold and Kumar. Like, hey, dude, want to watch Karate Kid with my man Jaden Smith? And Harold and Kumar were like, what? This must be crazy. The Karate Kid is with Ralph Macchio, bro. What are you guys talking about?
I love that kind of thing.
That's what happens with remakes, man. They dilute the original, and sometimes you're like, no.
It's because I think it's a very interesting issue. Sometimes what happens is mistakes people make is they try to make a photocopy and it just comes off terrible. Sometimes what you have to do, you have to make your own thing.
Yeah.
Something different. Good example being Oh Brother, How Art Thou? The story of Ulysses. You know what I mean?
It's a Greek story, apparently.
Yes, exactly. Of the story of is it Odysseus, I remember. Same idea, same story, done in a completely different way.
Right.
She's the same goals. Fantastic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or no, like I get what you're saying. It's like Bel Air. Have you ever watched Bel Air?
Hey dog, the trailer got me unexcited. How good was it?
That thing is brilliant.
Really?
There's 2 series right now that I watch and I have to just binge watch. Like I have to just binge watch them, and like Cobra. Whenever I watch Cobra Kai, I just watch it on one sitting, bro. I cannot pause and stop and not watch it like until the next day. I can't. I remember the previous seasons, season 1 and 2, I think, and 3. I would sleep at like 4 a.m. because I had just had to binge watch the entire thing. I had no choice. The second one is Bel Air. Bel Air's like that as well. It's like when you watch it, there's no and Power, I guess. So it's 3. You just have to like watch these things without sleeping or whatever. Like you just have to, unless if you're really tired, but that's how good Bel Air is, bro. Uncle Phil is done right. Will is done right. There's some twists and turns of certain characters, but it's not in bad taste. Everybody is treated well and they have their own mini arcs. It's brilliant, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, so trust a good remake because it's its own universe without making it look goofy or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was just us talking about main characters and how
exactly
how great they are. Yeah. So you said Ali, he gets Ali's address.
Well, no, we're somewhere else. No, I was talking about the end of the thing. Basically, still talking about how the shops against the kid. Mr. Miyagi, the wise old man, is proven through multiple scenes as well. Yeah, basically. I'm talking about how the repetition of all these little moments basically accumulate to make a character. So you don't just end up with one scene and you're like, oh, okay, I must now interpret everything I need to know about Ralph Macchio's character, Daniel, in one scene. No, every single scene throughout the entire movie defines his character. And then even when it repeats itself, it's in a good way. That's a good thing that it repeats itself. So Mr. Miyagi, the same thing as well. He's been hitting with lessons and one-liners the whole time to let you know this is our mentor. That just keeps happening, and it's fantastic.
Making him paint and
yeah, well, I'm gonna get into that about how they take their time with these scenes. But yeah, cool. Anyway,
I'm sure when everybody was watching this movie, apart from the people that actually worked on it, probably asking themselves, what is he doing? Like, what's the point of it? You know, it's kind of like Dragon Ball. When you watch Dragon Ball, the first time Master Roshi trains Goku and Krillin. I don't know which one came out first. I think this one came out before. He made them both fetch milk or something.
That's actually a good question. If I remember correctly, it was, I think they had to fetch a rock, didn't they? Like he threw a rock incredibly far and they had to go fetch it.
Oh yeah. I think those were one of the trainings, but I think didn't they have to like fetch milk in the morning somewhere? I could be
I would
wrong.
believe so, yeah. But remember, he lives in the middle of nowhere, so they have to like go far.
Right.
Yeah. But then a lot of them do that as well. There's other ones where like you have to fill up in Drunken Master, you have to fill up a bucket upside down by doing sit-ups. But I'll say this one is done in the most unique way.
But the sit-ups one was that is crazy, bro.
Oh, dog, Drunken Master, masterpiece. I hope you get a chance to do it one of these days.
Yeah. No, definitely. Because our only Jackie Chan film gave us like what 30,000 views.
So, wait, how many?
30,000.
But are you being for real?
I'm being for real. Like in one of the channels, Police Story is on 30,000 right now.
Really? You never told me that.
I'll send you a screenshot. Anyway, going back, Dragon Ball came out in 1984. So I guess you could say it's a coincidence, maybe? Mm-hmm. Probably.
Probably a coincidence, yeah.
Yeah.
I think at that point, like Drunken Master had been out at that time as well. There's a lot of those types of movies at that time.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're now in the second half of the film. This is now the second half.
Right.
And the second half opens on Daniel being driven to Ali's house for the date. And we see a massive difference in lifestyles as Ali's house is huge.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of the first actor, and Daniel was pushing the car to get it moving and how different things are. Yep. Before we even get a shot of the house looming over Daniel as he prepares to go in like it's a castle. It's just great to show how intimidating it is. But before he can even make it up the stairs, a convertible rolls up into the driveway with people inside the car staring hard at him.
Those are the parents, right?
Yes. He ignores them to go meet Ali at the door. He points them out, and then Ali's like, "Yo, those are my parents." And he's like, "Jesus." Yeah, it's like a nightmare for him. So he meets the parents, and it's a bit of a terrifying encounter, but it's tiny. He handles himself when he's not breaking the house. He kicks that brick down, and they're like, don't worry.
No, those parents are cool, man.
You say that.
Well, were they bad?
The way they were looking at him in the car. Let me show you that scene.
You think they were judging him?
Let me show you that scene, because I feel like you've forgotten.
Nah, I think
you tell me these are good eyes. Oh shit.
So you think they judged him?
Damn. You know when you rest on your remote and it's like, you know what? Let me take advantage to ruin your life. Yeah. That's what just happened right there.
The remotes do that all the time, bro.
It's like my time to shine.
I thought Ellie's parents are cool. Why?
I'm about to make an argument that they are far from cool. I think they were polite, and there's a big difference between being cool and being polite.
Okay. Maybe that's the right word. I don't know. But I didn't see the point is I didn't see an issue with them.
Did you see that?
Yeah, look, that's the dad, right?
Fuck, I went too far. Wait. Look at that look, dog.
Oh, I think that's the mom, actually.
Yeah, it's the mom. That's hilarious. You said it was the dad. But just look at the face. Look at her face and tell me that's not someone who's absolutely furious or concerned. Like, why are you here? How can I help you? How can I help you face? Can I help you, sir?
We don't want, like in Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
When anybody knocks on the door, Eustace opens the door and is like, "We don't want any." Like, dog,
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Like you're a Jehovah's Witness or something. Dog, just I'm gonna need you to calm down, sir.
Obviously they changed the actress because Ellie's mom is different in Cobra Kai, and I think that's the memory that stick with me. Obviously, she would be nice to Ellie because that's her daughter, but
you meet the mom.
You remember we saw Ellie in, was it season 3?
2, no 3. It's 3.
Yeah. When they introduced Ellie, it's Christmas, and then I think they were busy with putting gifts down on a Christmas tree or something. She's talking to her mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's a different woman there. Okay. Bro, I had to go back to this movie to just check the credits if it's the same actress.
And you saw it was different. Hey, that's more attention to detail. See, they're polite right now.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Polite. That's what I remember.
Look at that face. Look at that husband.
But the husband is fine. What are you talking about? The mom is not comfortable, but the dad is fine.
Look at
Rob,
this.
The dad is fine.
This dad. Look at that face. Look at that face.
But the way Ellie's looking at Daniel, it's like, yeah, she's definitely looking forward to it.
Look at that fake ass smile. Look at that. Look at that shit.
All right. Okay. No, I agree with you. But this dad looks familiar. Okay.
I don't think we ever looked him up.
No, it's not who I think it is. There's an actor that looks like him, but is way he was way young. He was in The Bold and the Beautiful. He was way younger than him.
I'm gonna call him Ridge.
No, not Ridge, man. Ridge's brother, not Thorn, but Ridge's brother from his dad's side.
I was gonna say not Thorn.
What's that guy's name? He owns ships or something. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, okay, fine. But there's another thing. I'm going to show you a scene later on. It's important. It's its own set piece. And you're going to see why I am mad at the parents. We're going to get there.
All right.
I'm mad to the point where I'm like, you know what? I think this is a product of the 80s right here. I don't even think it's something they did on purpose, but we'll get there.
All right.
Okay, cool. Anyway, back to normal.
Guys, Rob proved this point, okay? But I guess I don't remember it as well as
I thought I did. There are so many things I don't remember about this movie. I think I even mentioned it later on as well. I can't believe how much soccer is in this movie.
Yeah, you mentioned
do you know what I mean?
In the previous one, yeah.
But then we see some soccer again later on where it's like, what?
Right.
There's more soccer in this movie than She's All That has dancing, dog.
She's the man. Yeah.
Oh no, the one with the cheerleading one. I think that one's called She's All That. That's all right. That's okay. You're gonna pump my gas someday.
No, I haven't missed that one. Yeah, you're right.
What?
Yeah, who's in it?
What? I'm about to give you an experience.
Who's in it?
I can't remember. That was too long time ago.
But She's All That. The title sounds familiar though.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. It's the one with the Freddie Prinze Jr.
That's the one that has that "Kiss Me" song, right?
I believe so. Am I wrong as well? Because now it's a different movie. Just now I've ruined myself. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because for me, like Freddie Prinze Jr. soccer.
Yeah, that's the wrong one. No, not soccer. I meant as in for Bring It On. There we go. Bring It On. OG Bring It On.
On with Mary Jane Watson.
I believe so. Yes. But like the first one.
Why am I forgetting people today? What's her name again? That beautiful woman. What's her name again?
And this is the one where people got mad at her, not for the movie, but because of what she said, like this year or last year, where she was like, it was unfair that Peter Parker got money for Spider-Man, more money than her in Spider-Man 2, because when she joined in, she had just made money from She's All That, and it's like, he's the main character. I'm gonna need you to shut up.
She got the money from Bring It On.
Well, basically, the idea was, yes, Kirsten Dunst was basically complaining because whatchamacallit didn't have any energy behind him. What's his name?
Tobey Maguire
didn't have any heat behind him. You know what I mean? Whereas she did, because she just come from
a hit movie. Spider movie got hit on him. What is she
exactly? That's why the comic book community went, what are you talking about? The comic book community.
What is she? Okay, look. Yeah. For me, I'll always have an issue with unequal pay when it comes to Hollywood films, because I feel like the main lead and the female lead should get at least around the same amount. So yes, I agree with that. James Franco also has been acting since he was like what? Like Freaks and Geeks era, dog.
Thing is, you're never gonna win that fight because it's how much you can get.
It's how much you negotiate, yeah.
Yes, how much you negotiate, because there's no way because Julia Roberts can name her number. At some point, she was not just the highest paid actress,
Not anymore.
Highest paid actor in history.
Yeah,
and
in the 90s,
Jennifer Lawrence.
In the 90s, yes.
Exactly. And then it became Jennifer Lawrence.
Was that before Jim Carrey or after Jim Carrey? Because I know at a point Julia Roberts held it down for like a while.
Yeah.
She was like probably
I think it was after Jim Carrey. It was
millionaire actor.
I want to say it was after Dumb and Dumber.
She was one of the first millionaire actors.
Mm-hmm. Oof, it was a tricky one because I think it was after. Because I'm pretty sure. Pretty Woman.
Yeah, no, it was definitely after Julia Roberts because I think Julia Roberts around Notting Hill, she was still getting a lot of money, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And even with like, because I don't know what happened with Pretty Woman, but
that was 1999.
Pretty Woman, no ways.
No, 1999. No, Pretty Woman was like 1994. Notting Hill was 99.
No, Pretty Woman was like 80 something or early 90s.
Right? Dog. It was definitely early 90s, but like 94, not like 80s.
Really?
Ah, fuck. Wait. Ready for War? What the fuck? And that's a Julia Roberts movie. What Julia Roberts movie is called Ready for War from 1994?
I have no
Sophia
idea.
Loren. Have you ever heard of that?
No, never.
Ready to Wear. Still. And anyway, let me just find Pretty Woman.
But I think you might be right because Runaway Bride, I think.
Oh, maybe you're right. It's 1990.
You see, 1990, right? So I think Runaway Bride came out when? 98?
That would have been long after.
Yeah, because she did like My Best Friend's Wedding. She did a couple of those.
No, Runaway Bride is 99. Much later.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yes.
That's much later. But Dumb and Dumber is not 2000. It's 94. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber is 94. And that was basically peak Jim Carrey.
Jim probably made because he did Dumb and Dumber and The Mask, I think, the same year.
94, yes. It was The Mask. That was peak Jim Carrey right there.
Yeah, so he made his 20 million, I think, or so, something like that in 94. So when did Julia Roberts then make her millions? Was it 90, maybe 95 around there?
Okay, yeah. Here we go. I just Googled peak Jim Carrey. It's kind of funny, actually. In the 90s, most dominant film actor from 1994, 3 Juggernauts.
Ace
so
Ventura
94 was the big one, and then Pretty Woman was 90, and then Runaway Bride was 99. So
yeah,
he's in between. He's somewhere inside. So yeah, 1994 was the 3 big ones. Then 95 was Batman, and then it's someone else. Okay, I almost lost my mind. Ace Ventura was also 95. Ace Ventura was 95.
Yeah. Yes.
And then Cable Guy was 96. Liar Liar was 97.
Yeah.
Truman Show was 98.
Batman, when was Batman was what, 98, 99?
Yeah. Batman was, I mentioned it just now. I mentioned Batman Forever was 95. Yo, 95 was actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the 90s were basically his. And then I think it fell apart with Man on the Moon. I think that's when it stopped.
Okay, so she made 20 million. Julia Roberts made 20 million salary per movie for Erin Brockovich. So from Erin Brockovich came out in, was it like 2000? Yes, in 2000. So Jim made millions before Erin Brockovich. But to Julia Roberts' credit,
but Erin Brockovich feels like the end. It wasn't the beginning.
That's what I'm saying. It came out in 2000. So what I wanted to say is the difference between these two is Julia Roberts made 20 million in one film, like Erin Brockovich. Yeah. Whereas Jim Carrey had to do Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and Ace Ventura, I think, for him to get the 20 million. So
you're right. Basically what you're saying is, Julia Roberts is bigger than
Julia Roberts was the first. Even though you could say that maybe their net worths were probably similar at that time, but how they acquired that money was different.
And I would argue Jim Carrey probably had a better 90s run.
He definitely had a better 90s run, but his
negotiation was...
His worth was less than Julia Roberts'
Exactly.
worth. Because, I mean, think about it. Run. Who had better acting? Okay, apart from, obviously, guys...
I feel like saying acting chops is unfair.
Apart from Meryl Streep. Yeah?
Yeah, because, remember, this is actually a discussion I've had with myself because I'm a crazy person many times. But Jim Carrey is the master of the mask. It's kind of crazy that whenever no one can wear prosthetics better than Jim Carrey can. Whether it's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, whether it's The Mask.
I mean, Eddie Murphy is on the same level. I wouldn't say he's better.
No.
I wouldn't say he's better.
But I would say no. I feel like you're talking quantity now. But can you really tell me that Eddie Murphy's face shifts as often and as well as Jim Carrey?
You didn't talk about shifting of the face. You were talking about prosthetics.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean quantity. I meant quality. The ability to still act. Because you have to remember something. There's the 2 Dr. Seuss movies. The Cat in the Hat, which was Mike Myers.
Mike Myers, yes.
And his face was barely moving. That man's a good actor, but his face could barely move under that mask, and it looked terrible.
So you're talking about being animated
face-wise? I'm talking about
but you see, that's not what you said initially. But I do get what you're saying, though. Maybe
facial
it's because control. I cut you off.
Yes. Facial control is such a power that Jim Carrey has.
No, like, guys, Jim Carrey is a living cartoon. He's a cartoon come to life. There's no one who can outact Jim Carrey. I don't care who you are. Jim Carrey can be extremely serious with a movie like the Lucky Number 7 or whatever. What was it? The Number 7 or whatever. Then he can be very funny.
It's just 7, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I think it was the Lucky 7. The number 7.
You're talking about 23, aren't you? Is that 23?
The number 23, no?
Yeah, I think it's 23. You think of Lucky Number 7 and 7, but there's a movie called 23, which Jim Carrey's the drama with the serial
I think it's called The Number 23. Directed by...
Yes, Number 23, yes. 2007.
It was directed by the same guy who directed Batman and Robin and
Joel Schumacher, there we go.
Yes, Batman Forever. R.I.P. Joel Schumacher, man.
You made trash, but we still love you.
I don't think it was trash. I think it was...
Batman Forever, I mean. But Falling Down is a masterpiece.
Wait. Did you say Batman Forever or Batman and Robin? Which one is the trash?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Batman. He made both, though. Batman and Robin is the trash.
Well, for me, I would say, if you're a child, those movies are great.
If you're 4, then Forever, then Batman and Robin makes sense. Though I'm not gonna hate Batman Forever. I think Jim Carrey actually did a good job with what he was given. I will not take the away from him.
I also think Val Kilmer did a great job.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what's so weird about all of this? Actually, it's not even weird. One thing we hardly mention about all Batman movies is none of the Alfred actors suck.
That's true. There's never been a bad Alfred. And has there ever been a bad Commissioner Gordon? Do you know how bad it would be to be a bad Commissioner Gordon?
There's never been a bad Commissioner Gordon either.
Yeah. And how many Batmans had a bull?
A bull?
The Gordon's partner that's always corrupt.
Oh, Bullock.
Yeah. Okay, Christopher Nolan Batman had. No, that's it, no?
Wait, there was a Bullock there? Harvey Bullock?
Yeah, in the first movie, his partner is Harvey Bullock.
Oh, really?
They snatch up the chubby guy, yeah.
That's Bullock. Yes, you're right.
I think that's the only one, no?
Maybe that's the only one. Because, I mean, if you think about it, we do know a few characters. Mm-hmm. Guys, it's a tiny tangent. Please bear with us. We do know there's a few characters in the Gotham Police Department. There's Flash. There's Bullock. There's Renee Montoya.
Yes.
And then there's the black guy as well. I forgot his name, but there is a black guy. I forgot his name.
But we're talking like low-key cartoon / comic Batman policeman. Because remember, it's not just Gordon, guys. It's not just Gordon.
Yeah.
There's other people that Batman has to interact with.
Yes. The ones that I've mentioned now. Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there was even one cartoon with the storyline about, I think it's a comic as well, with the one with the security guard that's in Arkham Asylum. That turns out to be a real problem, and then Bruce Wayne has to save the day because he turns out he's abusing the prisoners, like to the point where these psychopaths are scared to even snitch on him.
Oh, because he was like a vigilante of sorts there. But I think that was the cartoon. You're right. I don't think it was.
Yeah, I think that was the cartoon. I don't know why I think it's in the comic as well. Maybe because I've been listening to these guys. Because I can't afford comics, I have to listen to the comic guys talk.
Yeah, like comics explain, no?
You know, the stuff like that. Yeah. I could be wrong with that one, but I'm not sure. But yes,
you could be right.
Yeah.
But I think I know the character you're talking about. This big guy who's Basically,
and then they had to get him fired, basically, yes. And then Bruce Wayne, instead of Batman, had to take control, and then, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was random, guys. Now I want to talk about falling down, because look at this list of Schumacher. A Time to Kill, Phone Booth, Fatliners, Falling Down, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Some of the movies that you've mentioned there are great. Phone Booth is brilliant.
Dog. Phone Booth. Like, to me as a writer, the fact that they managed to get so much out of a movie with a guy sitting in a phone booth is crazy.
Cause I mean, look, I'll put Phone Booth on the same level as like a Panic Room, because
yes,
in scope it's just a room, or it's just a phone booth. It's kind of like what Ice Cube started introducing. Like, we're just gonna make a film about a day, Friday. We're gonna call it Friday.
Yes.
Or Barbershop. Everything happens in one day. The first Barbershop movie.
But then again, I think what Ice Cube was trying to do was a low-key, like, hey, white people, this is what black people kind of go through. Do you know what I
mean? 100%.
That's what he was going for.
Yeah.
So it was more of a documentary, a day in the life of a black man, to which white people were like, oh, 100%. Is that what it's like?
No, and his whole point was the hood doesn't have to be all violent.
True.
Yeah.
Very true, actually. That's actually a great way of looking at it, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God, there's so much cool stuff here. But yeah, anyway, guys, believe it or not, by the time you're done, you're going to be better filmmakers.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, I hope so. I mean, Rob is the more technical one out of the both of us. So I hope you guys will learn a lot. What do you mean?
You got it right more than me on like 5 different occasions in that one discussion.
Dude, you know, when it comes to trivia, I'm the guy. But when it comes to technical stuff, you are the guy.
Dog, you'll know more than me before I know it, bro.
Well, we'll see.
But back to the film, if anyone even remembers where we were.
I think we're talking about the parents, Ellie. Basically, the mom is taking them to. It's taking them for the date or whatever.
Yes.
Mom is always happy, always cheerful.
Oh yeah. Actually, no. This is actually a good point. Yes. Yeah. This is actually, now that you mentioned it. Yeah. So to make things worse, they get in the car, and to make things worse, the car comes to a stop, breaks down, and they have to push the car in front of the parents.
Dude.
Just maximum cringe.
Dude.
And I've decided I'm going to come up with a new expression. I want to try and make this cement. We're going to make a t-shirt out of it. I want to call it the pulp cut, or pulp writing. Because we've discussed what pulp fiction is before. For everyone who doesn't know, pulp fiction is basically not just a movie, but it's a thing that used to happen in the age of World War II, I believe, where in America they used to have to sacrifice paper in order to like make stuff for the war. So what would happen is the paper pulp would have to be used as normal paper. And because it was considered cheap paper, it was cheap writing that they could do on it. So it was cheap prints. So they make like cheap, fast writing, basically. So you get a small book with a lot of cool writing in it, and it will be done quick. So that's the idea of it, basically.
Yeah.
So, but basically the idea is why I call this pulp writing is because it shows maximum cringe in the shortest moment.
Oh, right.
It gets a lot done with a little bit. You know what I mean?
I still think that, and I think I've mentioned this previously, the women in Karate Kid are written so brilliantly, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, the level of emotional intelligence that Ellie has throughout this entire movie is amazing. And I think that's why Elizabeth Shue eventually had a problem with how her character was written in the second one. Because if you remember how the second one starts, it starts with Daniel complaining about what happened between him and Ellie. Because obviously, we as the audience would want to know, where's Ellie?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why isn't she here? So he makes up some story explaining to Mr. Miyagi why he and Ellie are not there anymore. I think she broke up with him over the phone or something, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, when we review Karate Kid Part 2, we'll probably know that some answers there.
Yep.
So Elizabeth Shue obviously would have an issue because that's not the character. The character wouldn't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, she's so game.
Bruh, she's perfect.
And it's so funny. There's actually this whole discussion I want to have one day, like just rant about it for an hour. And that's, have you seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Have you watched Invincible yet? Season 1 or season 2? Either one. Preferably both.
I've watched 1 and 2, yes.
Okay, fantastic. Now, who are the most hated characters in fiction?
Okay.
Walter White's wife. and in Invincible.
And Amber,
right? Amber.
Well, Amber in season 1, because they fixed it in season 2.
But, they did make some big improvements, yes.
Yeah, they fixed it in season 2. But in season 1, everybody was really... Well, not everybody, because I didn't really have an issue that much with her.
That's shocking. But anyway, yeah. Keep
going. Why is it shocking? Dog. She just wanted more time with this guy. Because remember, Mark could spend an entire month out of space.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not used to that, dog.
That's true.
It makes sense.
But then that's the part she swallowed and was okay with. The part where she lost her shit is when he had to save people's lives. And then she was like, this is lame, Mark. And at that point, she already knew. Remember? The college, the college tour.
By the time it's I'm invincible, she's like, yeah, I know that.
I've known for weeks. Yeah, but the college trip was less than a week ago. I was saving lives. You were making me feel like a piece of garbage while knowing what I am.
That's fair.
Remember, she even yelled at him, was like, you left me. And it's what do you mean he left you? If you didn't know, then yes, what you said makes sense. But if you did know, then what you said doesn't make sense. But my point is, one of the theories I have is, one of the reasons we hate, because people think it's because we hate women, right? People think the reason that people hate these people, I actually think it's because what ends up happening is these women accidentally end up being antagonists. If you know what I mean.
I would also add, before Amber, I would add the wife in Ozark. That woman is a piece of garbage.
Cheating on the husband, and now she becomes a part of the problem as opposed to a part of the solution.
Exactly.
And the reason that they're always women is because a lot of the time the main character is a guy, and the guy isn't gay. If the guy was gay and it was a guy, the boyfriend kept being an antagonist to this guy's problem. Because remember, we feel sympathy for the main hero, for the hero.
Oh, right? the hero, yes.
Yes. So now if you become an antagonist, you start blocking the hero. Guess what? We're going to hate you.
Yes.
And I think that's why it's not a thing of us hating women. It's just a coincidence that these people who are supposed to be on the main character's side end up being antagonists.
It's basically us hating whoever is antagonistic towards the hero. If it was the hero's dad, it would have been the same thing. The uncle, the mom. For instance, when I watched He Got Game with Denzel Washington, I hated Denzel Washington for what he was doing to Jesus, bro. I just felt dude, you are so toxic to this kid's life. Just leave him alone.
And exactly, unlike a straight antagonist, you can't do anything to them. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
So let's say, for example, with Breaking Bad, the wife. Now, when it comes to Gus, okay, I need to kill Gus. I need to get him out the way. Yeah. You can't kill. Walter White can't kill his wife.
That's his wife. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the person he loves.
Yes.
That's his safe space.
Well,
do you get how that's
okay?
Do you get how that becomes a problem?
Yeah, it used to be his safe space, not anymore. But no,
not at all. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's my point. Is that's why I think we hate them so much. Do you know what I mean? Why we have this vicious hatred for them? Because it's we need you to be chill, but you're not. Right now, and that's why we sometimes you get those. Have you seen nowadays? We start to get a little bit more of these ride or die girlfriends and boyfriends where they become
just like how they used to be written back then, like Ellie in this one.
Yeah, Ellie right now. Yes, exactly. She's 100% ride or die.
Yes.
And we love them. We absolutely love them
to death.
And that's the difference.
We eat it all up. I mean, I remember there was an era where we started asking. I know my cousin and I started asking this, and I know a few other guys started asking. When you watch older movies and you look at the characters in those movies and ask yourself, where are these type of women in any of the media that we're watching nowadays? Where are they? They're not there anymore.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're not there anymore. 100%.
I guess you could say one of the women in recent films, I mean, it's not recent anymore because it's over 10 years old. It's over 10 years old. It's like Julia Stiles in the Bourne film franchise, even though she doesn't talk much, but she's been loyal to Jason since the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Characters like that are rare now, bro. But rare. You're saying, they're making a slow comeback now, so that's good.
Yeah. Or the tech chick from 24. I don't know if you ever watched the 24 series.
No.
Jack Bauer.
Only watched the pilot of it.
Ah, damn. fantastic filmmaking, in my opinion. But anyway, 8 seasons. There's this one tech lady. She's like new in the first seasons, and she becomes ride or die by the end. And it's like they're not even dating, but it's like she's just ride or die.
She's just a ride or die character, like Donna in Suits or whatever. It's just like someone who's been there. Yeah,
exactly. Even when they're doing something wrong, she'll be like, "You're doing something wrong, but I'm still here."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you don't get that anymore. Donna in Suits is a fantastic
basically like a female Alfred. That's what you need.
Exactly. Right. Imagine if Alfred was like, "You can't do this, Bruce. This is bad, Bruce." Every 4 seconds, we'd hate Alfred.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just calling that out. So yeah. Anyway, point is, she even sits in the car. Like she's like, the mother's like, "Do you ride stick?" And she's like, yeah, I do. Which is funny enough because that ends up playing a part later on, but we'll get into that later on.
What does that mean, do you ride stick?
Gears. Remember, Americans, for some reason, an automatic car appears to be the normal in America.
Yes.
Whereas
that's why for them, like the whole DMV, like they make it sound like it's simple. Yeah, just go to the DMV. I'm like, wait, what? Dude, we take like 10 lessons out here. Like,
yeah. You know how much bribes cost?
not just the bribes, but learning how to drive seems like it's more difficult here than there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when you see them like, oh no, let's drive stick. You know what I mean? That's meanwhile in the rest of the movies, it's just get in the car and go. Yeah. Like a go-kart.
Yeah.
And then yeah. So anyway, Ali drives the car while they push. Parents are still watching, waving at the parents, and then Point is, I love the whole.
Quick question. I'm so sorry, man, but guys, you guys need to understand something. We love movies so much that even though we're following this, what we normally do, there's just moments that really, really get to us. So my question to you is, who do you think deserves to have been with Ellie like forever, as in like marriage? Daniel or Johnny?
Daniel. There's compatibility there. Again, Ellie rides with Daniel. Like, she finds his jokes absolutely hilarious.
Right.
Even when, thing is, you never really see them have a proper conversation. But whenever they do, it just feels like she's supposed to be the wife whenever Johnny's talking. You know what I mean? It seems he's too...
Whenever Daniel's talking.
It's always this thing of having to negotiate. It's like he's trying to shift the fridge, whereas whenever they're talking, she's flying. Like in her mind, she's like, I want to hit that.
Bro, she's always melting when she's with this guy.
Exactly. There's no I want to hit that with Johnny, dog.
Yeah, it's more like, dude, I'm tired of you. It's enough.
Dog.
Move on.
Yeah.
All right. No,
besides the fact that she literally says that.
Look, I think like I still think that Tomiko is the best out of all of them. But whenever you see him on screen with any of these women, you're like, dude, marry her already.
Yeah, because we're on Johnny's side. I mean, sorry, on Daniel's side, because he plays it so sincere while at the same time being sassy. It's a complicated role, but he
mastered it so well.
Yes, he got it so right.
Yeah.
But I will say this though, because we've been complimenting old school films. I will say this, like with this one, but I feel like with these kind of stories, you need to be firm and straight, right? With modern filmmaking, one could almost argue this would have been done a little bit better, because with modern filmmaking, they would have at least had, because remember, Johnny and Ali both play soccer at the very least. So we know they're physical and they're sporty, and they're into that. They're into that kind of thing. They hang out with the same crowds. They seem to be doing the same activities at the same time. They go to the same events at the same time.
Yeah.
So logically speaking, a modern storyteller would have them have a lot more in common. I think.
Who and who?
Johnny and Ali would have a lot more in common.
By Johnny, you mean Johnny, not
yes,
Daniel.
Not accidentally Daniel. I mean,
no. I agree with you. I think because when I watched the latest season of Cobra Kai, I mean, Johnny just mentioned something in passing. It's like, oh, dude, are you kidding? Ali used to, like, it was this whole sleepover thing, girls sleepover thing. And they used to say, Ali used to tell me about these stories all the time. And that one small piece of dialogue makes you realize how well Johnny really knows Ellie. You can tell like these people have probably known each other since they were like in first grade or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or kindergarten probably.
Yeah.
The problem now is ever since Johnny joined Cobra Kai, personally, I think that's when he started becoming a different person towards Ellie.
Yes. I think what happened was, I would say it's more like this. Imagine you're a king and you're best friends with a servant, right? At some point, what ends up happening, because I don't want to use terms like traditional gender role and masculinity. I don't think that's the actual issue. But I think what ends up happening is at some point your kingliness ends up taking over and you can't be friends with the servant. And I think what happened was Johnny was so forceful and in such a straight line that it didn't mesh with Ellie anymore.
Yeah. So basically it's like Ramesses and Moses type of thing. Where
Yes. From Prince of Egypt. Yes.
Yeah.
That's actually a fantastic, nice, dude. Yes. Oh fuck, I forgot. I need to rewatch that movie. But yes. Where again, and it's so funny because right now we're talking about roles in life. Right. And Johnny seems to have taken this like straight line path role. Remember, he's like trying to outline his whole life in the first sentence of the movie, if you remember correctly. I remember I talked about it. Yeah. And that doesn't mesh with Ali, who seems to link immediately to Mr. Smooth talking, but
which is probably what Johnny was before, by the way. Probably.
Yeah. Yes. I would say if there was a real storyline, it's a storyline of Johnny changing and then expecting Ali to change with him.
That's actually where I wanted to go with this.
Yes.
I wanted to say that it is just unfortunate that we got exposed to the Johnny who was losing his way when Daniel was coming to the valley. Right?
Yes.
So we didn't get to see the Johnny before Daniel came to the valley. That's the problem. That's why we're more on Daniel's side than Johnny's side. But as you keep watching Cobra Kai, you realize that, oh no, actually Johnny, because what I wanted to say is later on in Cobra Kai, when Johnny kisses Ellie again as adults, you're not going to complain when you're watching it because you're like, yeah, actually, this makes sense. Like, this guy and this woman could be together. It makes perfect sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Johnny at that time is a lot older. Obviously, he's changed a bit. I guess you could say he's more of his old self than the jerk that we saw in the first movie. Because Chris is no longer there, so that influence is no longer there. He's grown up a bit and all of that.
I would actually make something slightly different if I my own headcanon. Okay. What I think is, it's not that he went the bad way. I think he was more goal-orientated. Because you have to remember something. Because remember, they have to explain away Johnny's money, right? Because he's clearly a part of the rich people.
Yeah.
Then in the season 1, episode 1, I think they explain it to his uncle is the one with all the actual money.
His stepfather.
Yes, is the one with all the actual money.
Yeah.
So now Johnny has tried to take advantage of the situation and become solid on the money. She's safe. Johnny isn't. He tries to become more goal-orientated in order to ensure his position, right? Fill up his stepfather's ambitions or whatever. And then that fails. He tries his best, it falls apart, and that's when he hits that low. And then that's basically where he becomes the old Johnny that used to know Ali well, because he's no longer chasing an impossible dream anymore. And as he falls apart, to be fair, Ali probably still wouldn't have dated him because things are falling apart for Johnny.
But you see, this is the problem of 90-minute films or whatever films. Is that they don't explore. Yes, the actors would know because they'd have character bibles of these things, right? But we wouldn't know this. That's why back then, this was, to us, it was just a black and white straight film. There was no complex, like these characters were not complex at all. What you saw is what you got. Johnny's just a jerk. Daniel's just a good guy, period.
Well, yes. But at the same time, no, I actually agree with you, right? But at the same time, the character bibles define the storyline. Because I'm not the same with my writing. The writing itself is like, you write this much, right? I don't know if you can see this. This is what you've written, including all your character Bibles. Yes. But the actual storyline itself is this.
100%. I agree with you. That's why I'm saying they get exposed to the character Bible.
Yeah, but still, you must still reflect that. You must still reflect all that extra writing.
But honestly speaking, can you tell me that all that you said right now, which is brilliant, by the way, is what you got the first time you saw this movie?
No, that's true. But now that
that's my point.
But at the same time, you must still get a taste for it. You know what I mean? It mustn't come out of nowhere, if that makes sense. You kind of get a taste of it.
I never really got rich, spoiled kid vibes from Johnny until I saw Cobra Kai. I had no idea actually that it was from a rich family.
Really? Okay. To be fair, I didn't fully comprehend it myself until you go to the gala, the date scene number 2, the second set piece, which you'll get to, and you're like, no, actually no. Here, in this date number 1. Remember, you see Johnny here as well. Yeah. In the convertible with the rich friends who Ali hangs out with.
Right.
Also, he has a motorbike at like the age of 16.
I promise you, I didn't even think of stuff like that. For me, because
Johnny has a bicycle. I mean, Daniel has a bicycle.
Because Daniel goes to the same school as these people.
Yes,
that's why I didn't get the impression that they were rich.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Like, what school is this? How many schools are in California? It doesn't make
sense. Like, what is it? Is it a public school or is it a private?
It can't be, right? Because number one, because America has the same zonal system as the rest of us. It's almost like a worldwide system, which is very strange. Where public schools, you're only really allowed to go to public school if you're in the zone. And of course, like a lot of white schools here, they make exception for Mama Lori. And is that the issue? Is that Johnny's from Mama Lori? He's from Mumps? And therefore he's allowed to go to the school as an exception? Do you know what I mean?
Daniel, I don't know. Maybe.
Shit, I'm bad with names. Yes, Daniel. Because it's obviously not the same area code. So
the mom is just basically using like 80% of her salary to pay for this kid's tuition. I have no idea.
But then it's a private school. If that's the case, then that school is a private school.
Yes.
In which case, what?
But you see, that's my point. You don't get these things when you're first viewing this thing, bro. There's no way you can get all this information from the first viewing. It's impossible. Look, nowadays you can, because you and I are more, we are more informed.
And also social media.
We don't just watch movies, we watch movies. You know what I mean? But back then, when you're just watching this, no.
Which is so funny, because if you think about it, there were less other movies to watch at the time. So if any group of people would focus on movies more, it would technically be them.
It would have been them, because there was less content.
Yes, literally, there was nothing on your phone. What phone?
And it was appointment. It was appointment viewing. There was no pausing and rewinding. And I'll check it out tomorrow. You have to watch everything in one sitting. If you go and go to the loo or wash the dishes while this thing is being screwed, you're screwed. You missed everything.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So
I don't know. That shit is funny.
Anyway. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to know who would be best suited. I think younger Ali, definitely Daniel, but I think older Ali, definitely more sober-minded Johnny.
Thing is, I think it's all about the time period. If we're talking
100%.
If it's talking about the 90s, 2000s, even the 80s, then it's definitely Daniel.
Yeah.
If it was rewritten today, it would absolutely be Johnny.
100%.
Because you would have to acknowledge the fact that they share the same life.
Yeah.
They have too much in common for them
not to work.
For them to only be angry at each other. Like
100%.
You know what I mean? Because Ali is pissed every single time.
But I think that's why even now, even in Cobra Kai, Chozen seems to be like everybody now is convinced that the only person that could actually be with Tomiko is Chozen. It makes sense. Especially if you watch the second one, you're like, there's no way anybody else could have married this woman. Back then, yes, Daniel could have married her. But now you're like, no way, stop.
Chozen is a psycho that tried to murder Johnny. I feel like I would understand.
To murder Daniel for Tomiko.
Sorry, Daniel, yes. But still.
But for Tomiko.
You're a crazy person who tries to murder people.
That's young. It's the same thing all over again.
What I'm saying is
older Chozen is a good guy. You know, he's a real estate agent.
He ever fully apologize? Like, you know what I mean? How do you even atone for trying to kill your boyfriend?
Yeah, no, it's really tough. But I think I don't know. I mean, that season ended with him going back to Japan. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, sorry guys. Oh my God.
Good times.
Yeah.
Though it would be funny because I heard they might make a Karate Kid 4. I heard that's what
there is a Karate Kid that's gonna come out next year.
And it won't be tied to Cobra Kai. Yes. And it won't be tied to Cobra Kai. It would be hilarious.
I don't get the point of it. Like, what's the point? And please don't make another wax on, wax off, jacket on, jacket off situation. Because what's the point? We've seen that movie so many times. Don't do that.
We'll see, man. All I hope is that imagine if Johnny is with Komiko and they're like, they just ditch all the Elizabeth Shue stuff and Johnny's with Komiko.
Daniel?
Shit, Daniel is with Komiko. Yo, I need like a board or something.
That would be so weird.
That would be so weird. I mean, I wouldn't hate it.
No, I wouldn't either, because I mean, even Ralph Macchio has said that the only character that made sense for Daniel to marry is Tomiko. Like, there's no one else, honestly.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Huh?
Oh, they were still heading for the date.
1 hour, 3 minutes in. That's how far we are.
Right.
We took a 1 hour break to talk about the one. We only 3 minutes in.
How long is the runtime for this movie?
2 hours and 6 minutes, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And that's including credits. So it's probably like 2 hours and 4 minutes. Because the credits are actually surprisingly long.
It actually doesn't feel that long. It's kind of like Die Hard. You remember we were surprised when we realized how long Die Hard
it was. Yeah. Again, if you follow the skeleton, your movie feels short. It's almost the psychology of the human brain. It's flipping interesting. But anyway, we'll get into that. So anyway, 1 hour and 3 minutes in, we've talked. But anyway, we get a montage of the date as they arrive and start playing table hockey. It's really there's a lot fun about the scene as they're putting a lot of focus in showing that Ali is the one that's kind of leading the date and is having a lot of fun. She's laughing. She is close. She's physically all over him. Yeah. She's almost leading the whole thing, and he's kind of just like this happy participant. Do you know what I mean?
It's kind of like if you watch Titanic over and over and over, you realize that Rose was actually leading that entire thing, bro. So Jack was just a pawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With this one, it's home turf advantage.
Oh, but actually, now that we talk about it, I realize that there's actually similarities between Ellie and Rose in the sense that I don't know, it's because Rose is also moneyed.
Yes.
Jack was broke. So I don't know.
No, there's that in common, but I think the big difference is Rose was seeking freedom, which Johnny gave, and this one, Ali isn't necessarily seeking freedom. You never get the impression that Ali is trapped.
Yeah, I don't think she was seeking freedom, but she was, I think, seeking a good mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last guy was kind of forceful and shitty. And the new guy is fantastic and he's willing to let her be. I guess you could argue there's a freedom argument to that. Let her be, because there's no complaints about her playing sports. There's no complaints about the things they're doing. He's just there for it. He's just game. But yeah, the music comes to an end, and as things are winding down, a guy in a sports car rolls up. Random guy. His name is Daniel. He's friends with Ali. He's like, get in the car, let's go. And she's like, nah, not today. Not today.
His name is Daniel.
Yeah, don't you remember?
So there's 2 Daniels in this movie.
Apparently, yeah. Huh. And you remember the white sports car?
I do remember, yeah.
And then he drives off.
You know, when I saw that, I was like, if I was Daniel, I don't think I would date Ellie because I feel like her life is too busy, man. I'm busy painting Mr. Miyagi's things there. And my girlfriend is gonna be going out with this guy.
Yeah, and remember, Daniel's like painting for like a 14-hour shift. He starts in the morning, finishes at night.
Exactly, bro.
So, and then you're like living your best life with all these people,
exactly.
Dog.
And also,
guys and girls.
The way he's painting, it's not like, because I mean, he could have finished a lot quicker.
But he has to deliberately.
But he has to do it like this.
Long strokes. While breathing. Yeah.
No, Didi. Long strokes, for sure. But yeah, you know, so when is he gonna have time? Unless Ali joins him and they paint together. But
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Why would Ali even want to do that? She's exactly out the perfect life. It's not like, oh, she's being crowded. No, she's fine with this.
Yes. Unless she's just interested in being with Daniel, even if they're not speaking. I mean, there are girlfriends like that.
Oh, no. I think, like I said, Ali wants to hit that. You know what I mean? Like she's
willing to paint.
You know what I mean? She wants Daniel. Like you can tell. It's
there's something that we spoke about last time. Sorry to cut you off. I feel like I cut you off there, but Samantha LaRusso is the new version of Ali. And then this kid, man, Dimitri, is the new version of Daniel for me. Whenever I watch Cobra Kai, bro, I'm like, Samantha is the guy, Daniel's daughter. That's the new version of Ali because she had a thing for Miguel, whether he's broke or not. She's cool.
Don't even get me started on fucking. Okay, you called her LaRussos. You got me to. But yes, I was definitely Daniel San's daughter is very. She's all over the place, dog. All I know is this back and forth.
Yeah. Can you just give me a second, please? Sorry.
No problem. This triangle is very confusing.
Hello?
This love triangle. Oh, ooh,
yes. Please just put them in the lunchbox. Thanks, sir. Thanks, man. Sure. Hey, sorry, bro.
No problem. Take your time.
I'm good now. I'll just wait on you.
Ah, damn it. Careful. Where's my pen?
You'll tell me, no?
Yeah. Just spilled some ice.
Oh, sorry, man.
No point in crying over spilled ice. All good. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So as I was saying, no, actually, you explaining Samantha LaRusso. I don't know what you wanted to say about her.
I was gonna say that back and forth is a bit. After the third back and forth, you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna need you to pick a guy. I'm gonna need you to pick a guy. I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's basically the same thing. That's what I'm saying. Like she's the modern Ali because she had to choose between Miguel and Robbie, right?
Okay, but now here's the problem with Ali. She 100% picks Daniel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas this one is like, oh, I'm kind of feeling.
But Samantha eventually picks Miguel, though.
I haven't finished season 4 yet, the final season yet.
Sorry.
I'm still on. No. I've done the first 3 episodes. I think I'm 2 episodes short. But
yeah, but they're already dating by then.
I know they're dating, but at this point, I don't know. I'm not.
Nah, bro, it's set in stone at this point.
I don't trust you. I don't trust them.
Dog, I'm telling you. You never know. Like, Tori and Robbie are meant for each other. Miguel
do they even look comfortable?
Miguel and
yeah, do they even look comfortable together?
And Samantha, I think they do.
Dog. Maybe I'm just too nervous. I'm waiting for things to settle, but they don't feel settled yet. I need to watch those later episodes first. She might fall in love with the little black kid. You never know. You never know.
Okay, look, after what they did on the Umbrella Academy the last season.
You watched it! You watched that hate crime
of time.
My time and my soul.
That was a total waste of time. That was horrible.
I want to scream.
Season. Oh my goodness!
And You know what I realized actually after watching a lot of YouTube videos about it, I realized maybe I'm not the target audience because a lot of people also hated it, but I was like, your reasons are not enough for me. For me, Umbrella Academy was an argument for suicide.
That season shouldn't have existed. Like,
dog,
it shouldn't have happened.
Dog, imagine the moral of your story is these kids that are dealing with their trauma. The answer for their trauma is that they shouldn't have existed in the first place.
They should end up being marigolds. Are you crazy?
Dog. Oh, is that how you think it ends?
Bruh,
you think it's a reset?
Despite that, no?
Yeah.
5 and Miguel's wife.
Oh, dog. The same 5 that killed her parents. That killed Miguel's wife's parents.
Exactly. And not just that. You saw this kid grow. I know that he's 90-something years old.
Yes.
Stuck in a kid's body, but still, you saw this kid grow. Like, this is your brother-in-law, right?
Yep. And don't even get me started on the whole
number one never really feels like number one throughout the entire series. Number one never feels like the leader, bro.
Number one is such a waste of a character.
Oh my god.
He never became defined.
They did that whole Cyclops thing on number one, though. The entire time. When he's supposed to lead, he doesn't. And when he does, it's so small that you don't even feel like that is leading.
The truth is, number one probably should have died in like season 3, and they should have just kept him dead. Because clearly there's nothing happening with him.
Oh man.
And then, but not even that. Just remember this. Number 5 has basically dedicated his entire life with a stone-faced focus.
Yes.
Without blinking on making sure his family's okay.
Yes.
And then he cheats on.
And he does it as a loner the entire time.
Yeah.
That's why his storylines are always more interesting than any other character, in my opinion, because even when he helps saves the day, he doesn't explain what he was doing, where he was all along.
Because they wouldn't understand.
Exactly.
They don't understand him. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because he's been through hell and they don't get it. They couldn't possibly understand even if they tried.
Yeah.
Like he straight up, remember when he fucking murders the entire the Time Council or whatever it was called?
Yes.
Just by himself.
Yeah.
And then he has to deal with that afterwards, and the family can't even comprehend what's happening.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just, and he's always been like this person who's like, his one focus, if it's not Dolores, it's at the very least, Dolores the doll. Then it's at the very least his family, at the very least. He's got that going for him.
Right.
Nope, they take it away from him, dog. And they make him cheat on thing, and then they make sure that the situation never gets resolved.
Yeah.
They just all get unpersoned.
Because my thing is, okay, sure, I could have dealt with this horrible season, if Diego, if Diego and 5 resolve their ish. Dude, this thing ended with them like not really having resolved their ish. It's not that they had to forgive each other because they were dying.
They first fought, and then 5 just left. Do you know what I mean?
Ah! What a way to ruin a beautiful series.
Dog. And it's so funny because 5 is like, they're all, the whole world's coming to an end. They're all fighting this fighting blob. And then 5 just leaves.
Look,
and also,
if I'm being, guys, please forgive
us. Don't you dare defend this. Let's hear this. There's nothing good about this. Okay, now let's hear it.
No. If I have to, like, not according to the comics, because according to the comics, number 1 is number 1.
Yeah.
Right? Just like how they were doing the whole backstory thing, flashback, where you see number 1 being number 1.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to watch this now and not know about the comic at all, I would say 5 is actually number 1. Victor is number 2.
Yeah.
Diego is probably number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Allison is number 4. And then number 1 is number 5. And then Ben is number 6, as usual.
Dog, and it's
no. Klaus is number 5. 1 is 6. And then Ben is 7.
My poor Klaus.
Klaus was just a useless. And I think that's why it lacked the source, because Klaus was not Klaus.
Yeah.
Number one, Victor's screaming the entire season.
He's just angry at everyone, just growling. Nigga, I get it, you're a man now, but I'm gonna need you to calm down with that testosterone, boy. I'm gonna need you to calm down. Dog, oh my god. And then
I think the only character that seems to have been written okay.
I'm really gonna hate what you're about to say, yeah?
Is Allison. Like everybody else, no. The only thing that Allison didn't have was that I had a rumor power, but apart from that,
no, she did. Remember, she could do it with her eyes now. She didn't have to talk anymore.
She seemed fine. She was a mom and all of that. Like she seemed fine.
It says there's a storyline about the world coming to an end, and you just in your best description was she's a mom. Fantastic.
No,
that's useful.
Okay, what I'm saying is she didn't seem that much out of place like everybody else.
Okay, first of all, she wasn't doing anything. Number one, right? She only used her power.
Usually she doesn't do anything.
She's the one that basically kills the father in the last season.
In the last
season, she's the bad guy because she works with him in the first place. So
Yes.
she's the bad guy. She's the antagonist. And then in the season before,
Well,
she
okay, to be fair, Victor was the bad guy in the first one.
Yes. Well, more like the
To be
abuser.
fair.
She was. Oh no! Oh, sorry, you mean Victor? Sorry. Yes. Yes, but you almost understood in a way. It was because.
But even with number 3, you also understand. Like she wanted her daughter.
Okay, but look, with Victor, Victor wasn't purely the bad guy though. Like, do you know what I mean? Like she was reacting to her powers, which she'd never been taught how to deal with, despite the fact that everyone was given a chance to deal with theirs.
Yeah, but how many villains are like that in a lot of media?
But like, I like the fact that there were all these people dealing with all their trauma, and they were so busy dealing with all their trauma, they couldn't help Victor properly. And then it led to Victor accidentally ending the world. I love that. I think that's so fucking cool.
I think out of the siblings, there are, I could say maybe 4 characters that I know are incorruptible. 1, 5,
yes,
Diego, and Klaus. These 4.
Okay. Diego, he's not corruptible, but he is trickable. I feel like you could accidentally talk him into being the bad guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Because Diego is so dumb.
Yeah, for me, Diego's like he's like Wolverine, man. That's how I see him.
He's more stupid like a version of Wolverine. Yes.
Yeah.
He's a stupid version of Wolverine. And you could, dog. And also, just a random one. What's her name again? Diego's wife. What's her name?
I forgot her name, man.
Whatever, Diego's wife.
Oh no,
is it
man.
me?
We can't do that.
I know we can't do that. I know, because I love her. She's a great actress.
No, but she brings it, eh?
Oh, she does.
Every single time.
Question. There's a part, right, when they're fighting everyone in the city, right, and she has the laser eyes or whatever, and then they get in
which didn't make sense. I don't know why she had those.
I also don't know why she did. Like everyone else had like an evolution of a power, and then hers was just laser eyes. Did she meet Superman?
Is it Lila?
Yeah,
Lila.
Lila, yes. Did you think something was going to happen with Lila? Because there's a part, right, where they're all sitting together. And, of course, Ben is just being a douchebag. Yo, I hated Ben.
Alternate reality Ben sucks.
He's the worst thing that's ever happened in history of ever.
He's a spoiled kid.
He's just a piece of shit that never gets better.
Bro, I actually was looking for, like, when you saw how it ended with him in Tokyo or wherever he was in Korea in the train, I was like, we're finally gonna get Ben, and probably this is the Ben that we've always wanted to see all along. The one that was interacting with Klaus all along.
Yes, we're finally gonna get We just get the worst person who does the worst things that leads to the biggest problem and ends the world without any you know what? Never mind. But my point is, there's a scene where they're all sitting together, right, at the mechanic, right, trying to get with the car's getting fixed.
Yes. Yeah.
And she's acting crazy and weird. Did you notice her, right? They'll like cut to her every now and then. She's in the background, like playing with a hammer or whatever. And I'm like, is something about to happen with her? Nope. Turns out nothing was about to happen to her.
Bro, there's a lot of things that should have happened but never happened. The minute they took the brothers to the CIA headquarters, I was like, you guys clearly have no idea what you're doing here.
Yep.
There was no point.
Yeah, and then it ends with them just going home and going, hey guys, does anyone remember what the plot is? And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right, the plot. And then they go to the place.
Yeah. And they even get there accidentally, so remember?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because 5 got them there.
Yeah, they were lost, and then they like accidentally park right in front of the bad guys.
Oh my God.
That's how lost they were.
Wow. You know, this feels like Game of Thrones. This feels like the actual comic book story writers were like, nah, you guys got this. I mean, you guys have been right. You guys have been following the comics. You did the hotel thing. You did Vanya thing. You know, you got this. Hey.
Dog, it's... Oh my God. And for me, I think the most offensive thing had to be the Klaus thing. Like, that one hurt my feelings because I liked the fact that they took Klaus from one extreme to another extreme.
Yeah.
Where he went from being like scared to being hurt at all, from being immortal and not caring about death to being scared to being hurt is such a clever idea.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That's brilliant.
Right.
And then they force him back I like the idea of like, okay, Klaus is the only one who doesn't have his powers. Let's see what's about to happen. Nope. They force the powers onto him. And it's like, okay, cool. There's going to be a whole drama now with Klaus and so, where Klaus has to try and pick himself up without the drugs and still have his powers and be like, don't worry, Klaus, years have passed. You're going to prove yourself to be a... Nope. Grabs a TV, goes to get himself killed, gets himself kidnapped, becomes a prostitute and a
that whole arc what didn't make sense, bro. That whole arc with him and the dealer made no sense to me.
And it took so long and it was such a distraction. And I think I was actually offended by that one. Like that one hurt my feelings.
Yeah, no, it was a waste of a season, man.
Dog.
Because all of those people are brilliant actors. I've always had issues with Umbrella Academy, to be honest, because I always felt like they didn't do it justice, even though I never read the comic. But because I've done research on the comic, I felt like it could have been done better. But even with what we got, it was still really good. That's why I watched everything. But because let me give you an example, guys. I know, and I'm so sorry. I'm gonna do time codes, okay? I'm gonna do time codes. So if this is not your cup of tea, just skip to where we continue with Karate Kid. Season 2, right? It ends with them going to the Sparrow Academy.
Yeah.
Season 3, when it starts, you think they're gonna face each other off, whatever? They dance, bro. I'm like, what's this?
And it's so funny. When you go on YouTube, everyone's like, the most iconic parts about it is the dancing. It's like,
no, because I was asking myself, like, one, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Look, sometimes they make you feel like an idiot for going, I'm sure there's a story here. Let's see what's about to happen. You know what I mean? But they do it in such a way that you don't care. You're still having fun. Yeah. But with this one, I cared and I was not having fun.
Yeah, no, because they did it throughout the entire series.
Yeah. I mean, I think in a better storyline, like the car thing would have been fucking hilarious if it was in a better season.
But the baby shark thing.
Yeah. That would have been hilarious, so much funnier if I wasn't so angry.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The two twin bad guys, so much funnier in a better show. I love Ron Burgundy and the lady from Will and Grace.
I thought, aren't they like a couple?
No, they're husband-wife, sorry. The husband-wife combo. Yeah. I love Ron Burgundy. Is that that's his name in Parks and Rec? Right?
In Parks and Rec, yeah. And the lady from Will and Grace. I think they're a couple in real life, actually. I think they're married in real life.
That's what I'm starting to understand, right? Because I didn't know that.
Yeah, I knew that a while back. Like 10 years ago or something.
Fantastic. Combination I never knew I needed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I just feel like they just didn't fit here. Because at one minute you're like they're villains, at another you're like, why are they letting the good guys go? I don't get it. And
then at first you're like, oh, okay, it's all according to plan, right? When they let them go, right?
Right.
And they remember, like, there's a part where they escape through the hole and they're like, job's done. And they shoot the other guy for no reason. And then afterwards, like the next episode, they're like, oh no, they got away. What do you mean, oh no, they got away? You let them get away. What's happening?
Because they seem so nonchalant about it. Like, oh no, they got away. I'm like,
what's happening? Do you not know who wrote the next episode? Did he die? Did the last writer die before the next episode? Dog, I was mad. Oh,
they're trying to make it seem like Diego has a dad bod and he doesn't. And I'm like,
oh, that's another complaint I heard. Yeah, it's like, do you guys know what a dad bod is?
Dude still looks the same. He still looks the exact same. He's fine.
Yeah, put a fake belly on him. Go to Martin's house. I'm sure the Big Mama's house outfit is still there. Put that on him then. And then he'll look like he has a dad bod. You know what I mean? Dog. And then they gave him this coolest superpower of all time, and he never used it after the first time. He used it twice, I think, in the whole movie.
Oh, why he deflects the bullets?
Well, he controls bullets. He basically controls all projectiles.
Didn't he do the same thing in like season 2 or something?
I think he did a version. I think no. The thing is, he can kind of control projectiles. I believe. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like mm-hmm. That's why his throwing knives always work.
Yeah.
So on a low level, he can do that. But he's never been able to absorb a fucking machine gun.
Yeah.
That's never been a thing.
Right.
Like the mailbox thing. I feel like that was his power. That's his normal power, where he was like throwing stuff and then, but like other people's projectiles. I have a feeling that was the evolution of his power.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I think that was his evolution. I could be wrong, but that's my headcanon for it. Oh my god, dog. Oh, yeah. And then here's another thing. That was so confusing. Because first they're like, Diego is an inattentive parent. Then how is he the one who knew about the paper mache thing, where he was like, oh no, who arranged the party then? Where he seemed to be the one who was arranging the party, right?
Yeah.
To the point where when she showed up with the wrong piñata.
The piñata, yeah.
Yeah. She was like, no, man. He was like, no, this is the wrong piñata. And then later on, it's like, oh, you see, you've been very inattentive with your family. And it's like, woman, you've literally been infiltrating a spy organization. What are you talking about? Who's the inattentive one here? What am I missing? It sounds like they both want something else, but they're both being called out for it.
That season is just an FU to the viewers, bro. I'm telling you, that season is a whole FU to the viewers.
Do you know what happened? The first group, there were two groups. They were said the first 3 episodes, like, here, you do whatever you want with that. You just fill it in. And it gave another group 3 episodes. Don't need to know what's happening with these guys. Just kind of do your own thing on this side.
They give it the whole Star Wars treatment.
Because that's what it feels like. Because you can't tell me that the one didn't know about the other one. And then even the cheating angle, where it's like, Diego thinks you're cheating on him. I'm not cheating on him. I love him. And then you cheat on him.
Yeah, I feel like that should have just been a moment where, and I think I saw one of the people review this saying that could have been one moment where Lila and Five actually just bond as relatives, not as a couple. You know what I mean?
What should have happened, yes, because again, number 5 murdered Lila's parents in one of the earlier seasons. Yes. When he was an old man and an assassin, if I'm correct. Right. And then the Lila was picked up by the time people and then trained to be an assassin.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, that's the flow of time.
Right.
Cool. So then over 6 years, let's settle that. That's what that storyline should have been.
Yeah.
Let's settle that. We forgive and we forget.
Right.
We forgive and we love each other. That's what that should have been about. Nope. Fuck you for thinking that would happen. It should have been a thing of, because it actually wasn't. Also, don't forget, they never actually forgave Rumor Chick. They never forgave her.
Allison.
For trying to take over the world.
I mean, eventually they did.
Did you see it?
I saw, well, number one, obviously, always have a thing for Allison. So yes. I saw him. Klaus already did a long time ago. Victor doesn't care anymore. He even said it himself that, dude, I don't care.
Okay, but come on, dog. That's not actual forgiveness.
5 clearly doesn't give a crap anymore. No, but also Lila made it clear that, dude, these people don't care anymore. Just come to the party. They don't care.
Exactly. And that's terrible. We're talking about a group of people who are so self-obsessed with their own trauma that when they're given a trauma event by the people they trust the most, they just get over it off screen.
Also, why is Ben the one that was so obsessed about the powers, as if he's been there all along?
See, he needed to be an asshole. That's the only logical explanation.
Why?
I don't know why Ben has to be an asshole. Like, I don't know.
It could have been Allison. Like, it would have made sense if Allison was the one, because maybe she needed them to forgive her, and then she gives them the powers back because like she feels like she's the one that took the powers from them. It would have made sense that way.
That would have made more sense. It would have been more of they're overcompensating.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yes. And that's kind of how that's how good storytelling works, especially when it comes to like these character-based trauma storylines. Is that sometimes what happens is you overcompensate until you reach an equilibrium. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's normally how these things work. Yeah. Instead, season 4 didn't do that at all. Dog.
I think, actually, and I could be wrong, but I think this entire project was probably affected by the strike.
That's number one. That's something that everyone pretty much agrees with. But to be fair, that was technically season 3. Season 3 was impacted by the strike. That's why they're all in one room. Have you noticed most of that season is like in one location, most of it?
Yeah, it's the hotel thing, but it's from the comics, though. That's from the comics.
Yeah, but the strike was more at time. But
that's also why I think maybe season 4, because yes, season 3 might have been affected, but maybe it still went on to the season 4 thing, because there's no way.
People are saying
I feel the same way about Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
The season that came before this season was goofy AF, bro. It was not the same level of Cobra Kai. Actually, for me, that's the worst season of Cobra Kai.
Well, so far to me, honestly, that's why I kind of stopped watching Cobra Kai right now. I think I'm at 3 episodes in.
Yeah.
And to me, this kind of feels goofy.
For me, this is not as bad as the one before this one. Like the one before this one, because remember, the writers were forced to write 2 seasons at the same time. Because they were busy with another movie or project or whatever. So I think they were just put under so much pressure that it really messed up the quality of.
Yeah, the only thing that was for me that was nonsensical was the father angle, where that like went somewhere for like 2 episodes and then vanished. I'm glad we did that. That for me that was frustrating. Definitely.
The father angle?
Miguel's father.
Dude!
2 episodes and it's done.
Did he die? What happened to that dude?
No, they just left.
And that was it, right?
Yeah, they saved the father's life, right? And they hung out with the father in the thing, and then in that little room or whatever, in the safe house. And then Miguel was like, yeah, this guy, I don't like this guy. And then they were like, just take me home, bro. And then I was like, all right, cool, let's go. And then that was it.
And that's it.
And that's it. I'm like, oh, Miguel's father's about to follow him home. This is about to get real. Let's see what happens. No, I'm an idiot for thinking harder than the writers.
But I think one thing I've realized about, I saw this with The Good Wife like 10 years ago, where one of the main characters, played by Archie Panjabi, she had a husband in season 4, and that thing was not working, bro. It was not. By the way, the actors are brilliant. The guy that came as the husband is brilliant. Archie Panjabi is brilliant. But it was just not working. Even the writers admitted that it was not working. So I think maybe that's what happened. They saw that this father thing is not working. Not the actor. The actors are not the issue. The story itself is just not working. So nip it in the bud while it's still early and leave it there.
100%. That is possible.
Anyway. Date. After the date, that's where we were, right?
Yes. Well, we're not at the end of the date yet, because whatever's happening hasn't happened yet. Right. We're still at the peak.
We're still at the other Daniel.
At the other Daniel, who the sports car. Right. So sports car guy shows up and drives off. Okay, first of all, for those, this is the marker point that Kutso carries on the story at. Just remember that. So don't worry, you missed all the other stuff. It was magical. You should have paid attention. You missed it. You missed some cool drama. I am gonna cut this out myself if I have to, and I'm gonna make this. This is my mission.
I'm gonna do a whole Umbrella Academy review. Just taking it out. So please do
take
that
it out and make it. I'm gonna try and do it. We'll both do it.
Let's both do it. Do your version. I'll do my version. Exactly. Check out Rob's version, by the way. I don't know. Are you gonna do it on YouTube as well?
I'll probably give it to you, and then you can put it up. I don't know. We'll see. But it'll be.
You wanna carry the heavy lifting by yourself?
No. I think you should still do it in case I don't manage.
Oh, but, okay.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay, no.
Because I know
that was way too good for us not to do.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I might have actually asked you for some of the old footage that I don't have. Like, I maybe want to take that Fast and the Furious clip. You know that 1 hour we talked for?
Which one?
Remember before we did 7 Up, there was a Fast and the Furious discussion we had.
The film franchise episode.
Yes. Okay. Before 7 Up. But yeah, I'll talk to you afterwards. But anyway, point is,
okay,
we're now carrying on.
Both of us just did that entire conversation.
It was just the two of us, yeah.
Yeah. All right, no problem. I'll send it to you.
Nice. But yeah, anyway, back to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, what ends up happening is when that one guy shows up, you know that whole thing, 3 is a crowd, 4 is a stampede.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically what ends up happening. More people get more involved in the scene. Things appear to be more crowded and just everyone's in. It's officially Allie's universe. We really gotta look at this is Allie's world, not Daniel's. And then to top it all off, the people trying to invite Allie to go to hang out, like Daniel isn't even there, dog. Turns out to be Johnny as well. He's in the car. He's the one driving the car as all these girls are asking him out.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny could move on in a second. But anyway, not the point.
You know, that's the thing that a lot of people have realized, even in this day age, don't realize. There are certain individuals, male or female, who could easily move on.
Yeah.
But they still choose not to. Because Johnny, I mean, he was not a bad-looking guy at all.
Yeah.
For me, it feels like Harry Potter in the first one versus Malfoy. Malfoy was not a bad-looking guy at all.
Oh, yeah. But also, I think it's a thing of, again, I think it's that headcanon we built for ourselves, that these guys were childhood friends. I really think that it would make, it's so funny because technically there's no evidence to show this at all. Not really. But I really do think they were childhood friends.
Yeah.
And then because later on you're going to see at the gala, her dad talks like Johnny doesn't even exist. Like Daniel doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
It's almost strange how quickly he moves on from thing. Like, oh, that was your friend visiting. No, it was a date. But whatever, we'll get there. Anyway, things get topped off when the kids make fun of Daniel, and then his mom shows up, and they make fun of his mom's car, and that really puts a sour note on the situation, like a real dour. Daniel tries to say something snide, makes a snide remark, and that just pisses off, and it's kind of putting more of a damper on the situation. I think Allie kind of knew this was going to happen, because she's kind of pissed off in advance. Like she's, I don't know if, in fact, let me show you. Because it's actually kind of fascinating. Because you'll notice she's touched.
You know, sometimes I feel like Ellie was like the POV character. Because sometimes we felt exactly the way she felt at the specific time.
Yeah.
Or in a specific moment.
Yes, I actually agree with that. Yes. Let me just show it to you. But you can see you see, okay. Daniel is, of course, explosively angry, but just look at Ali over here.
Dude, the mom is always in high spirits. Dog, I don't get it, bro.
Like a car salesman, dog. And just look at this. And look. And just being sarcastic, and he's being awful. And I think she knew in advance that he was going to be awful.
Right.
Like that was going to hit him hard.
Right.
In a way, I kind of think it's kind of funny because in a way, I both think Ali understands and both doesn't understand how guys think. Like, she's not so clever that she fully understands how a guy thinks. You know what I mean?
I just feel like she's just in an awkward position.
I know, definitely. But there's been more than one awkward position. There's awkward positions for poor Ali repeatedly.
Yeah, man. Movie. So I understand her because at the same time, it's like, what is she supposed to do, bro?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want her to do?
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing she could have done. And this one, she's 100% right. She's 100% in the right in this one.
Yeah. So in as much as And she still chooses you, bro.
Yeah.
Like she still chooses.
She's there for you, dog.
You. She didn't want to be with those people because she wanted to be with you.
Yeah. And she wasn't laughing with them. She wasn't joking with them. She was with you. And you still got hung up on them instead of her.
Wait, did he kiss her? Did he kiss her?
Nope. That's. Oh,
wait,
shit.
that never happens in this
No, no, that happens. They share a kiss.
Yeah.
It's the second date. It's the car. It's the car scene. It's not this one. It's the car scene.
All right.
That's later on.
Where he was wearing red, right? Like a
yes.
red jacket.
Well, no. That's the gala scene. Actually, no, I think he's wearing red in both. We'll have to see. But there's a gala scene where he's wearing red and he gets himself some spaghetti.
Yeah.
He gets himself the spaghetti treatment, and then there's the one with the car. But we'll get there.
Okay.
Cool. So yeah, it kind of puts things on a sour note. And normally in a drama like this, I think what would happen would be things would stay ugly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they don't. She kind of gets over it. It's very interesting, actually.
Like I said, for me, I still think she's one of the most emotionally intelligent characters in this entire movie. So
definitely. Though I feel like there's one point where I do get upset, but we'll see. Anyway, the date ends. Daniel goes back to Mr. Miyagi. It's 1 hour 5 minutes. We've been from the 1 hour 3 minute mark to the 1 hour 5 minute mark. We basically spent a solid hour in between there. But yeah. Anyway, the 1 hour 5 mark.
I'm not sure we're gonna finish this thing tonight, but we'll see.
We'll see. The date ends. Mr. goes to Miyagi's home. Everything looks freshly cut. The wood looks good. Daniel is awed by what he's seeing. Mr. Miyagi is working the wood as Daniel arrives. Daniel, being, Daniel, is having a good time, having good dialogue. When Mr. Miyagi shows him these two wooden sanding materials. They are from China, and then he makes him continue the wax on and wax off. But this time he's sanding all the wood, and he has to do the entire floor while maintaining his breathing, which is a key point that gets repeated. That it never really gets talked about with the whole wax on, wax off thing, is the whole left circle, right circle thing as well. Mostly maintaining your breathing is a big deal that never really gets mentioned. Like no one else talk about that, how they always just keep those things. But also,
that's why the author of Demon Slayer got her breathing form things.
Yeah. Also, what's never really mentioned is the fact that he gets so much done. Like, you know what I mean? He doesn't spend half the whole night on one car. He does every car. He doesn't just spend one section of floor. He does the entire floor.
That must have taken forever, man.
Dog, and he's sweating in one of the scenes. This one, the floor one. You just see there's water all over his face.
What was Mr. Miyagi doing this entire time?
Living his best life, dog. Just living his best life. Watching DSTV. Playing PS5. But yeah, it's not and it's not enough that you see him doing it. You see him doing it to utter completion.
Yeah.
It's like almost an example of sheer will and focus being shown to us.
But that's the thing, he's not a slouch. Daniel is anything but a slouch.
Yeah, he's not accidentally learning martial arts. I mean, technically he is, but it's not like he's lazily learning it. No, this man is working.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that gets neglected. But I think
so basically it's a training arc without it feeling like a typical training arc.
Yes.
Because I mean the movies that were coming out around this time with Jean-Claude Van Damme or whether it's Steven Seagal or whether it's whoever, the training arcs would have a crazy soundtrack. And then these guys are, whether it's Rocky running or whether it's Van Damme with the splits or Steven Seagal hitting or Jackie Chan with that thing. What's that thing called again?
I don't know what that board is called, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
The thing with the...
Yes, I know what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
With the arms, yeah. With like the arms, 7 arms, yeah.
That thing always looked really cool. I don't know what it is.
Same amount of effort.
Yeah.
And the sweat all over his body and he's exhausted. Only be told, I'll see you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
Like, dude, what the hell?
Shocked. He's shocked by it.
Yeah.
He's like, he can't believe it. But 1 hour, 8 minutes, it's a new day. Mr. Miyagi is still attacking flies with a chopstick. Daniel tries to participate in the action too, and they both look like crazy people, only for Daniel to actually nail it. And it's been a running joke, not following the rule of 3 per se, but it's got a good setup and a finish. Because Mr. Miyagi says, if you can do this, you can do anything. And then Daniel does it immediately. And then he's like, lucky shot. I thought that was great. Because it gives Mr. Miyagi a little bit of, what can you say, like fallibility or some humanity. And then Mr. Miyagi gives his next lesson, painting the fence. The breathing is still there, still the purposeful movement. They are clever in showing the detail of the purposeful movement. And again, they show him finishing the entire house.
And that yard was big, bro. That was a huge yard.
Yeah, so yeah, right. They do the whole fence first. Yeah, and it's huge. You're right. And then they're like, "Oh, you're done. Do the other side." Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant.
And when you realize how long it took him to just do that one side, when you look at the other side, you're like, no ways.
Yeah. And what's so fun is this stuff takes so long, right? This montage is taking so long. This little break aparts, these little breaks are taking so long that we start to join. It becomes our frustration as well. Yeah. Now we're getting frustrated too now.
Yeah.
Because so many of these little things he has to do, and he has to do them for so long. You just know Gen Z would have pressed charges by now. Yep. Child abuse.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. But still, he works into the night, and we see him exhausted once again, only to be told, "Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow." And then the next day, 13 minutes in now, we've had this day-night cycle is amazing, by the way. There's no time this time. There's not even Mr. Miyagi. There's just a letter on the door, and Daniel just loses his shit at this point.
Do you think that they should have also showed us a training montage? Because in other movies, what they would have done is maybe show us a training montage of the antagonist.
They don't have to, because remember, Daniel's been doing this for years. I think
Daniel or Johnny?
Sorry, Johnny has been doing this for years. I think would have taken away from the movie.
Because it's already competent, right?
Yes. And we see Johnny everywhere. If you actually think about it, whenever Mr. Miyagi isn't there, Johnny is there. When he's with Ali, Johnny is there. When he's at school, Johnny is there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Would you say he's like the fourth lead in this? Because it's obviously Daniel, Miyagi, maybe Ellie, and then Johnny.
I would actually say it's just the 3 leads. Okay. I wouldn't call him a lead per se, because he doesn't really get that much to say. Okay. His character is important, but they don't give him that much. And to be fair, he doesn't need it. I think him being everywhere and being this looming threat that beat him unconscious. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is willing to hurt him at any moment.
Yeah.
I think that's enough. And let's not forget, Johnny, for the first half an hour of this movie, Johnny annihilated this man. Yeah. Isolated him. Yeah. And that was enough.
I mean, I think I spoke to you about this before, but I always feel like Never Back Down is the Karate Kid, just a more grittier version of it. They just changed the title, and they just made the main character have a younger brother. That's it. But
of course.
Bar Karate Kid.
Just a terrible photocopy. Yes, not that it's a terrible movie. I'm just saying it's a photocopy. 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. In fact, I need to rewatch it so I can laugh.
Bro, it's exactly that. Like, it had been decades since I've seen the Karate Kid, but when I saw it, I'm like, dude, even Sean, the guy, I think his name is Sean something, the actor. You look like Ralph Macchio, bro.
But that guy had some muscle on his bones at least.
Yeah, that's the difference. He just had, it's like if Ralph Macchio had muscles. But
yep.
Anyway.
Whereas this man, like, you might have to send him home for child abuse because this nigga's too thin. But you'll see that later on. But yeah, anyway, he completes the task again late into the night, painting the entire house, this time using sideways strokes. Finally, Mr. Miyagi shows up and Daniel gets frustrated. He gets upset. Daniel is done. He explodes and gives up after 4 days of doing the max.
Yeah.
That none of us would have done.
No.
He lasted longer than us.
Yep.
And he's walking home when Mr. Miyagi stops him and asks him to show him the moves.
Yeah.
But before that happens, he does the hand clapping maneuver. And you get to do, and then he fixes his arm because he's hurt his arm after
scrubbing. Yeah. A move that he also tried to do in Cobra Kai is like, nah, I don't remember his comment because he was trying to help Robbie. He was like, no, I need to call an ambulance. Or did he say medic? Something like that. To show that, dude, I am not Mr. Miyagi.
Yep. Just didn't learn the right lessons.
I might be a greater student, but there's some things I don't know how to do.
Exactly.
But I think what I like about Pat Morita's performance here is like when also he's like punching, attacking.
Yeah.
He does it with such energy and wax off. It's like, okay, you start seeing how serious he was this entire time. And also Ralph Macchio's reaction to it, because he's now realizing, oh, flip.
Oh, definitely.
It's amazing. It's amazing to watch. Brilliant acting from those two.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But after he does the hand clapping, which of course is a setup. It's a setup for a payoff. That's what the hand clapping is.
Foreshadowing.
Yes. Yep. Can we basically cut that whole paragraph into one sentence?
That's Rob actually buffering it.
Yeah, because we basically took my 3 paragraphs and you're like, yep, this happens. And I was like, all right.
So sorry.
No, man, don't be sorry. Cool. Yeah. What's interesting about this whole scene, here we go, that I've never noticed until now is exactly how long this all takes. We are spending a lot of time with Daniel just getting tangled, not fully understanding what he has to do. He's trying to understand what Mr. Miyagi wants, and he has to put together what Mr. Miyagi wants in his head. And we're spending like 10 minutes on this, and it's fantastic.
But remember, it goes back to what we were saying. How do you feel in? I know that whole tip of like writers having the beginning and ending in mind, and then having to fill in the middle part with something. So the conflict is not there anymore. So you need as much as time as possible with all these other characters that mean a lot to Daniel. So
I hear what you're saying. I actually think it's slightly different to that. I don't think it's them filling space. I don't think it's filler. I think this needed to happen.
No. It did need to happen. Sorry, I didn't mean to make it seem like it's just filler. What I meant to say is now that there's no longer conflict, you really need something of substance to still keep the story going without the conflict.
Okay, yeah, no, definitely. It's the climax to the training. It's the payoff. And what is happening now, it's the big finish. And as I was going to say, this movie, sometimes movies can move too fast. And sometimes it can feel too slow sometimes.
Yes.
Because what's happening isn't specific enough. It isn't impacting. There's actually a great video by a guy called YouTube channel called Every Frame a Painting that talks about the Jedi. Basically, they take your time to show character development.
Right.
It's Every Frame a Painting where it talks about how long the individual scenes take in the Yoda training scene. Yeah. How long it takes for you to see, like when he raises everything up, how long that actually physically takes. Right. And when the things settle back down. In a modern day film, that would take 5 seconds. In that thing, it took almost a minute. And that's what we're getting here, is us really following Daniel as he understands once. And he starts following the moves as Thingamajiggy. And you can see the acting that Ralph Macchio is doing as he puts the pieces together. As to, oh my God, he realizes I am learning, especially when Thingamajiggy starts getting faster and faster. And again, starts muddled, right? Oh, what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? And then it starts, no, properly. And he's so firm and he's so focused. And then when by the end of it, Mr. Miyagi's like, no, and then he's just out here stopping combos.
Yes.
He's parrying combos like a Dark Souls character.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It is. And you have to remember, this is a set piece that started with the first training thing with Vaxon Maxoff and then ended with this.
I can only imagine the reaction at the theaters when that happened. I'm sure people were clapping their hands, people were cheering on.
People seeing it for the first time, and remember, there was no social media, so there were no spoilers. So a lot of people were like seeing that for the first time, going, "Oh snap!"
Yep.
You know what I mean? I can imagine that, and there's no watching it on your phone, so you are purely watching this. This would have been incredible. But the fact that it took so long is crazy, and also these cuts. There's even a part where, like, when he finally figures it out, then he walks home, and the camera just kind of focuses on him walking away. This is a masterclass in editing. This is an absolute masterclass in editing, and I think I'm surprised the editor wasn't nominated for an Oscar at this point. I almost want to look it up, but yeah, brilliant. And then bam, like a shotgun, we're suddenly in a bright sunny day. This whole day-night cycle thing has been crazy. Very much like the earlier shots before, we're bounced with a whole new tone, a new energy. This time, Daniel's on the beach in his boxers, just looking like a starving African.
Bro.
He's being watched by Mr. Miyagi as he is told.
And he's 24 here. Like he's like 20-something.
That's actually hilarious. I didn't know that.
It looks like he's 15.
Dog, good acting, right? I don't even know what that is. Good. What do you even call that?
I don't know. Good genes? I don't know.
Is it good genes
though? That's why I'm like, I don't know, because
like, is it good?
I don't know.
To have the body of a 15-year-old. But anyway, he's being watched by Miss Miyagi as he's told to learn balance by standing on one leg on the beach and in the water against the waves. And I don't care who you are, if you've ever been to the beach before, you've tried this. You know what I mean? You've tried it yourself in real life. Huh?
The crane kick.
No, trying to balance in the water as the waves hit you.
Oh yeah.
Trying to stay up straight like he was.
And the waves will always humble you, bro.
Hey dog, exactly. Then we cut to Mr. Miyagi doing insane moves, probably a stunt actor. While on a post, while these birds are like.
That looked like him, though. Shot. You think it was a stunt actor? That looked like him, man.
Dog, I think that was a really good stunt actor. I think remember Pat Morita is just a comedian.
Right. But remember, they were taught by the referee at the guy who plays the referee at the Old Valley.
Yeah, I doubt he was taught to master a post like that. But we'll see. Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we also get two great shots of Daniel reacting. First, that kind of worked perfectly because you see him like really in awe. There are two situations. I think one in the earlier night before where they just get this like, because for the filmmakers, a reaction shot is almost as valuable, if not more valuable, than the original shot itself sometimes.
Right.
And just seeing how won over Daniel is by this is fantastic. And everything is just perfect at this moment. But things can never be so easy for the Karate Kid as a bunch of California hillbillies. These hillbillies are so generic and so ridiculous. I'm surprised they weren't the ones that tried to attack Jussie Smollett.
Wow.
These are the ones that said, "This is MAGA country."
Wow.
Wow. You know what I mean? In Chicago, in the middle of a snowstorm. But
everybody remembers the Dave Chappelle joke. Everybody.
Because it's the funniest thing
ever. Black people said nothing. You know why? Because we know that nigga did it.
Because we knew he was lying.
Because we knew he was lying.
Oh my God.
This is the French actor, Jussie Smollett. I don't know if y'all know him, but
in the middle of a snowstorm. That bunch of hillbillies who watch Power or Empire. But anyway, these guys tried to give them issues, but Mr. Miyagi puts them in their place by just smashing beer bottles with one move.
Hey, bro.
And he plays it smooth.
Yeah.
I flippin' love that.
It's not even bleeding. Nothing.
Dog. So smooth. And I think, isn't there like a low-key callback to that in Karate Kid 3? But with ice instead?
No, it's 2.
Is it 2?
Yeah, remember I spoke about it where Daniel has to like slice ice.
Oh, I don't know why I thought it was.
No, it's two. They went Japan when he did that.
All
Where
right.
even I think Miyagi even had a bet with some people on it, and he won that bet. That
Oh,
bet. Yeah,
okay. But
against
anyway,
his brother or whatever. That guy.
okay.
Whoever that guy was.
Nice. Yo, you are more studied in Karate Kid than me, man.
Bro, this thing for me is one of the for me it's one of my favorite
trilogies.
IPs, man.
Oh,
In the
okay.
world. One of my favorite IPs ever.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's your Lord of the Rings to Tabella's Lord of the Rings.
I guess you could say that, but hey, not as detailed as
Tabella.
because Lord of the Rings has a lot of lore than
That
Karate
is
Kid.
true. That's people have to like really research. But yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
let's not do this. We're gonna make it, guys. Anyway, we're back to soccer, and it blows my mind how much soccer is in this movie. But Daniel and Ali are together again. It looks like an awkward finish to their date had no effect. They just carried on together as per normal, which is great because it's only a 2-hour movie, guys. We can't keep having a back and forth.
Also, Ali doesn't harbor grudges.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He asks her out again, and they have a date. And again, Johnny is just in the background living his life, which is interesting. But anyway, 1 hour, 22 minutes. We have Daniel and Mr. Miyagi on a fishing trip, which has been set up before with them with Daniel asking to fish, but he gets his wish. Only he's not fishing, and instead he's being fussed over as to combine his balancing movements. Daniel wants to learn how to punch from Mr. Miyagi, shuts that down, and we get more Mr. Miyagi lore. It's like that meme nowadays of dad lore. To where like like you're having a conversation with your dad and he suddenly says something about the past and you're like, eh.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get more dad lore. We even get a character back and forth for some character development. The bonding ends as we cut to the gala for the new set piece. And her father, Ali and her father are there when Johnny appears at the hall. His father thinks that they're still dating somehow, despite the fact that he saw the new date, which is so fucking weird. But she shuts him down, saying, no, realizing that she's 10 minutes late for her date because she was supposed to leave at 9:30. It's 20 to 10. Her father realizes and is upset because he realizes that it's about the boy in the hood. Like he can't believe that was real. Like he dreamt it or something. Johnny shows up and cuts in and then tries to dance with her, and she's like not willing to talk. She's pissed, but he convinces her to keep dancing. When we see Johnny outside, Daniel outside and waiting, and he sneaks and he decides, she's late. Let me go sneak inside. And he looks inside the gala and he sees Ali with Johnny, but Johnny sees Daniel first and forces a kiss.
Yeah.
And the father is like right there as this man is out here just shoving his face into his daughter.
But also remember, the family already knows Johnny. So
yeah, but anyway, she freaks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And which catches the father, but you can see his surprised face, like, surprised.
Yeah, that's why the father would be surprised, because it's like,
but that's what I thought, right? But then, first of all, Daniel bails, without having seen Ali, until he smashes into a waiter, dropping sauce all over himself, causing a massive scene, which literally makes the entire hall, without exception, burst out laughing. Yep. There were people in India laughing in this moment, dog. It was hilarious.
That's why you see Johnny getting his revenge, because this whole time Daniel was getting away with a lot. Remember, we're talking about the whole principal thing.
Yeah.
That's why you see, Johnny actually got his revenge.
Oh, definitely.
And you see, if this was a series, like we were saying before, if this was written in modern times, some people would have cheered Johnny on. Because we would have gotten all that history that we spoke about and all of that. So when you see this moment like this, we'll be like, yes, this is a win for Johnny.
But there would have been more nuance. And in this movie, there is no nuance because there's no time.
Yeah.
So there's, But anyway, Daniel makes his escape and Ali sees him and then Ali just punches Johnny. And her father is appalled. See, that's the part where I lose faith in the parents. And the mother checks on Johnny, which I don't think was on purpose, but might just be a product of the 80s. I don't think that was a message about bad parenting. I think that was just the 80s. That's just how 80s parents would have reacted.
It still goes back to that parallel that I made to Titanic. You remember in Titanic, Rose's mom was more concerned about Rose's future husband than Rose.
See, that's the thing. And that's the thing. I don't think Karate Kid was making that message. Do you know what I mean? Because an 80s film, that's a late 90s message. And Titanic is a late 90s movie.
Well, it's a late 90s movie, but portraying an old period piece, like an old time.
Yeah. Okay, but you do get old period pieces where they try to do modern thinking. In fact, a lot of it nowadays, it's actually frustrating.
I hear what you're saying. I don't know. Maybe this is my headcanon, but I just got the impression that they're still trying to make sure that Johnny and Ellison get together because he is a better fit than this scrawny kid.
And then
broke kid.
Yeah, and then they let a molesty kiss slide. That's your daughter. And this man's out here getting forceful.
With that knowledge, they would let it slide because they think that Ellie's just being stubborn, but then she'll eventually...
Again, that's an 80s thinking thing. I don't think they were that far ahead, but again, it's possible.
I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's how I interpreted it.
No, I get it. No, there's no problem there. But anyway, it's great continuity. There's never and then. This is pure action reaction. They're at the gala, at the date. Addie loses track of time. She's 10 minutes late. She realizes that she's 10 minutes late and tries to rush out when Johnny interrupts because, of course, Johnny would have been invited to an event like that as well because they're all rich kids. Yep. Ali's father would know about Johnny and Ali dating, so he still thinks that that's happening and just doesn't realize anything is wrong, so doesn't interrupt. Daniel realizes Ali's late, so he wants to find out what the reason is. Everything leads into each other, making this great set piece. For such a simple movie, there's a lot of actual set pieces here. It's like they were given, look, man, here's a simple thing, and then this writer was like, I'm gonna bet my whole life on this, and it came together nicely.
The rent was due, bro.
Dog, do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like he was like, my life depends on this. But anyway, 1 hour 26 minutes in. We open on a drunk Mr. Miyagi. You'll notice 26 minutes, we're nearing that half an hour mark, which means we're hitting. Remember, there's always a key point in every half an hour.
I've always had an issue with this scene that we're going to mention now, but
that's cool. We open on a drunk Mr. Miyagi singing and pouring 2 glasses of whiskey. Daniel comes in and gets offered a shot of whiskey. We get Mr. Miyagi's backstory in a brilliantly acted scene. We also get a brilliant use of props here. Combined with a great performance by Mr. Miyagi. We get the clues in the words that he says. We get the photo of the wife in the beginning. We also get the photo of the wife pregnant. We get his uniform. We get his military commands. We get the newspapers. We even get a letter in Mr. Miyagi's hand. We get Daniel reading it. We even get a Medal of Achievement, including a Medal of Honor. And then as Daniel reacts to all of this, he understands what's going on. We kind of see Daniel connect the dots together. And then at the end of it, when Mr. Miyagi passes out and Daniel looks over everything, he bows respectfully and then leaves him. First he lays him down and then makes his escape. And this, of course, hits at the 30-minute mark, which is this is called the all is lost moment that we were discussing earlier. Or in some places, it's called the bad guys are closing in moment, or a moment of extreme heartbreak before you jump into Act 3. So this is the break before Act 3. It's also the emotional low where things fall apart. The relationship between Ali and Daniel, which has been almost perfect, has a crack. Mr. Miyagi is at an inconsolable low. In Toy Story, we've discussed this. This was Buzz falling off the fan, realizing he really is a toy. In The Lion King, this is when Nala comes back and Simba meets his father in the clouds, telling him to go back home. In The Mummy, it's when Imhotep gets his powers and kidnaps the girl. In Die Hard, it's when the vault opens. In The Holiday, it's when Jack Black's old girlfriend comes back. It's a vital motivation to the next act that kicks things off for the end.
Right.
You want to say something first? Let's start with you.
Yeah, no, I think I mixed it with the Karate Kid with Jackie Chan, because I know with Jackie Chan is instead of just him sleeping, it's him crying, and like he has a whole car in his house.
Yes.
Explain that whole accident. What I wanted to say is I don't like the fact that they just like the main character just ignores that whole moment and tries to fight Jackie Chan in that one.
Really?
Because they continue training. They basically continue training.
Okay.
I guess it's more like get over it, but let's train, or he's trying to distract him or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. Because I think he was, that whole training of like, I think there was like wood where he was showing him how to do stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
In this one, I guess it's more subtle, but at the same time, I felt like, Daniel, say something. This guy is pouring his heart out to you, and this is the best you can do.
Yeah.
I just felt like there should have been more to that scene, but I guess what do you expect the high school kid to do in that moment? I mean, because he doesn't even say sorry, nothing. It's just in both those scenes, in those incidents, no one says sorry. The main character doesn't say sorry. Jaden Smith doesn't say sorry.
Because I think my condolences to a guy that's having a freak out, at least with this one. I don't know about that one. With this one, it makes sense. Because, first of all, he passes out almost immediately, by the way. Like,
yes.
It happens pretty fast, actually.
Right.
Daniel doesn't know what's going on, but he can clearly see something's happening.
Right.
And I think when you're a kid, just shutting the fuck up can be a big deal. Just don't say anything. I think that would have been terrible if he'd actually said something and been like, oh, buck up, chum. It would have been awful.
No, not like buck up.
I know what you mean, but yes.
You know what I mean?
Like, my deepest condolences. Nah. And then what's
so funny is... maybe not that, but just like...
But let me put it like this. In this one, Mr. Miyagi even thanks him for not saying anything.
Oh, okay.
And I actually do think this is borderline biblical. Jordan Peterson talked about it. Noah, right? Obviously. Yeah. There's a whole section where after everything happens, there's a part where Noah gets drunk, and then passes out.
Yeah.
Huh? And then the youngest brother, yes, one of the kids, I forgot which one it is. I think it's the youngest one.
It's him.
Yes. He's like, check him out, look at this shit. And then the other ones, without saying anything, quietly fix up the dad, put him down, and then bounce.
Yeah. They're actually covering him up by walking backwards.
Yes.
They don't even see his nakedness. Yeah.
There we go. Yes. And I think, first of all, I don't think this movie is that smart that he thought he was doing this, but low-key, I think that's what was happening here.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, remember, for anybody watching this, there's no way a first draft of a movie makes it. So maybe there was something there, and then the editors were like, no, cut this out. Maybe. Or maybe it was just like that, and nobody had an issue with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was a quiet Noah moment.
Or also, Pat Morita's performance might have been so good that maybe I expected more from the other character. Maybe on paper it was not that emotional. I don't know.
I understand and respect what you're saying. I just personally, I'm obsessed with silences. It's a writing thing of mine. Like, I literally listen for silence in the world.
Right.
That may sound weird, but you get awkward silences.
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, you get meaningful silences, and I do think this is a meaningful silence. The thing Pulp Fiction talks about as well. There are times where you just don't talk. Right. And I think that's what this was about. Like with the Noah thing, it's a thing where you just don't talk. Right. And again, Mr. Thingamajiggy, I think if there was ever a test that Daniel has to pass, that was it. Like right there, Daniel passed the test.
I would have failed dismally. Dismally.
But to be fair, you're a different person.
Yeah.
And also,
for sure.
How often have you met an elder at their absolute apocalyptic low?
Trust me, more times than you can ever imagine. But yeah. But they were not teaching me karate, so.
Yeah. That is fair. That is fair. I won't even argue with that. But you get what I'm saying, though. Like, you can
I get what
see
you're
the
saying.
value there.
Yeah. Can we just? Oh, do you want to say something?
No. What's up?
Oh, I was just saying, can we just shut it down because it's almost 11. I have to head home.
Shit. Okay, because we're near the climax. Okay, yeah. Maybe you can carry on tomorrow. Are you doing something tomorrow?
I have a podcast with the guys tomorrow.
Ah, shit. Okay. It's like literally half an hour, but we'll make a plan.
Yeah. No. Let's make a plan. Look, I mean, even if we do like a double thing next week. But no, next week we have the guys, right?
Yeah. Well, remember, it's your idea for next week. It's your big thing.
Okay, so what are we gonna do?
It's half an hour. I'm sure we can squeeze in something.
Okay.
Maybe you can do a Wednesday for once, or do you do stuff on a Wednesday?
I do stuff on Wednesdays.
Sunday.
Unless if you and I record earlier before the guys, like at 7, and then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
All right.
Guys, please do check out some of our stuff. Thank you so much for checking us out. We truly appreciate it. I know we have long ass tangents, but we hope you enjoyed it. If you're a fan of Umbrella Academy, I'm sure you probably also expressed the same frustrations that we did from your screen. And if you are a fan of Cobra Kai, I'm sure maybe you would have agreed with some of the things that we said. If you don't agree with anything that we said, please do mention it in the comments. And we'll guys see you on the next one. The last 30 minutes that we're going to be doing, we do look forward to that, and we hope that you guys will join us. Yeah. So from myself, Mr. Flodin, and Rob Sibeko, we'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.
Cheers.